Oh, what's going on, guys? Let me see what we got here. Oops. Oh, yeah. What's going on there, Renee Cruz? Good to see you in there. Photography, Light, and Magic. Oh, long time. Long time no see. What's up? Daniel Lazarus, what's going on? Joe Matthews. Thank God it's Friday. I hear that. Not that it matters for me. I got to work tomorrow. All right. Audio's working well. Renee Von Oosthood, what's going on? Hello, Chris and chat. What up? Javon Christie. Hi, sup? What's going on? Javon. Meow Mix. Meow Mix. Oh, Mix Meow. Hey, people. Yeah, exactly, Renee. Testing 1, 2, 3. Zoroaster 40 says, Chris, I swear I never get the link in the description on your vids. Yeah, all you got to do is look at in the actual comment section. If you look in the comment section, the very top one is going to be a pinned post by me, and you can find it in there. And I'll have a description as well as the links in there. You can find them there. A lot of people, I used to do it too. I used to put it in my description box just under the video. I don't do that anymore. For a while there, instead of people trying to go in and find it, they just find it in the comment section now. Kenneth Leah, what's going on? Hi, Chris. Hope all is well. It is. I hope you're doing as well. As well. Cores, what's happening? What's up? Any new extraterrestrial aliens? I don't know. Maybe. Mike Hoover's in the house. What's going on, Mike? Good to see you in there. Tav Derek Baker. Shamay, what's going on, brother? Lance Miss Blanco. Well, Blanco, depending on how you want to pronounce it. Hi, Chris, you say. What's going on? Hope you're doing well. Yeah, I hear you. Javon, you said, am here. I hear that. Alien Tennis says, hi, Chris. Hi, all. Anyone see how bright Comet Atlas was last night? I didn't look for it and wasn't even aware it was supposed to be last night. I knew it was coming. I just didn't know when. And like I explained earlier, I was doing a test for anybody who, I don't want to leave anybody thinking, what the hell's he even talking about? I just did a live feed test on my other channel, my Lunar Anomalies and Beyond, just to see if I can get this software working. Basically, it's my software that I use to record. Well, now I can do it live, which I wanted to do anyway. I just haven't fooled with it. I said, so let's just see if we can get it set up, and it didn't take nothing to get it set up, so we're good here. Let me see here. Let's see. I don't want to be too loud here. Hello, okay. Hello, 1, 2. Okay, we're just peeking out here. I don't want to break it up or anything, so there we go. That might be a little better right there, a little smoother. Let's just see if we can get it set up. There we go. So yeah, now we're here. And now if we wanted to look at pages, and of course I don't have anything to share. I'm kidding. But now I can actually show you instead of, hey guys, let me give you the link. Now I can just show you the page, right? So, we can talk about things. In fact, we might even look at a pan tonight, just so I can show you like some of the obvious things that are not so obvious, if that makes sense. Just little things to look for. And you start to see things a whole lot differently. In other words, rock is a rock. We know that. We don't have any problem with that. What we have a problem with, though, is some people don't see the very fine details, and sometimes that's the little things you got to look for, and then you pull back and you start to see things that are a little bit different. They're not just all rocks. And like I said before, just look for like small pieces sticking out of this so-called rock or any rock, and it looks like it's intelligently made. It's been encrusted, or it's been purposely gone over with a rock mimicking software, right? So, yeah. Let me see here. What's going on there, neighbor? Dustin Martin. He said, hello from West Virginia. What's up, Chris? Not too much now. I'm glad we didn't have that. I'm sure you've had it too. I'm not sure what county you're in or whatever. But I hope it, I was just gonna say, I hope you didn't have the same problem I did, where yesterday we had no internet. It was like, what was it? Yeah, it was Wednesday. It was Wednesday evening. Went out, didn't come on until 11, almost 12. Well, between 11 and 12 o'clock yesterday. So that was kind of bizarre. So I'm glad it wasn't tonight that happened. But it seemed like there's a lot of people there with Comcast, right? And it was completely out, and I had nothing here. So I just kicked back, watched some TV, and everything was good. But yeah, so I hope you're doing good there and trying to stay indoors and stay away from this garbage out there, right? Kyle, another one. I haven't seen you in a long time. What's going on? Mimi Reacts. What's happening? Hello, guys. Greetings from Germany. What's going on, Mimi? Good to see you there, man. Third Eye Open is in there as well. Cloudy with a chance of UFOs. Yo, yo, yo. Evening, Chris. Hope you are well and everyone else is too. What's new at space and UFOs this week since we locked indoors? Yeah, I mean, it's so much. I'll go over I like to go to space.com and different places we can look up just the top stories. You know, just about everything was basically being influenced by the virus. And it still is, of course, but I mean, everything you turn on, I don't care what you're looking at. I don't care if it was something to do with, hot rodding or whatever. Well, can't hot rod today because we can't stay together. It's the virus. Space programs or whatever. You know, it's everything's had the virus thing in there. So it's, it's a little difficult to, avoid it, so to speak. So. Josty's in the house. What's going on? Oh, you're right about that, Kyle. You said some people can't see the forest through the trees. Other people can see further down the road than others. This is true. Absolutely. Lance Blanco says putting the telescope up, but tonight checking out the comet. That's if the wind dies down. Yeah, that'd be bad if it blew it over. But yeah, that'd be interesting to see, you know. We've got partly cloudy skies here, so I don't think I'd have a shot if that's the case, but yeah. Oop, thing just jumped on me. What's going on there, Paul McDermott or Dermont? Yeah, what's happening? You saying hi, folks? Renee Cruz. Oh, yeah, I got it all wrapped up into one, right? Extraterrestrial aliens, element 115, 116, MIBs, cattle mutilations, crop circles, missing time abductions, alien implants, and all of the above. What's going on there, Miss Heard? Good to see you in there. Oh, here, I'm sorry. And hello, Chris and all. Alien Tenor, you said, Chris, with the C-19 going on, how much do you think the space projects will be affected by it? Well, I guess it depends, really. You know, if you really think about it, is it because of, I guess it depends like any other job, right? If it gets infected, one gets it and infects the whole place. But I think they're being real cautious about people up there in the space station and stuff because they're sending them, of course, of supplies and stuff like that. So I would imagine they'd have to be really cautious about that, right? And, I would imagine it would be, well, I don't know how it would affect them out in space, but I would imagine it really doesn't matter because they just had to, it's not like they can go anywhere, so they'd definitely be quarantined. But if everybody had it up there, they'd have to wait 2 or 3 weeks for it to blow over. So, but I guess it depends on, how much, these places get infected, right? Kind of like here, anywhere on Earth. A lot of jobs, I've heard people say, well, a lot of managers and companies say, listen, we get it. We're closing down. We're done. I know I've read about or seen on TV, like some of these big plants like Toyota, stuff like that, closed plants around the United States because of this particular thing. A couple of people come in with it. Well, it's no good to you if everybody gets sick. So it's better off just to shut it down and let it blow over. And then the people that, had it can now come back and, well, had it, now they're good. They can come back, right? Where did it just go? MC Gamer, he said, hey, community. Hey, Big Chris looking really small in the bottom corner, mate. Yeah, I was just doing a test on my other channel on the lunar anomalies, because I don't know if you guys have seen the latest video. I think I posted maybe an hour before coming on here. That I did a test on this because I'm using my recording software that I normally record with, and I'm actually live now. So that means I can make this thing, whoa, I can make myself really bigger. But if we want to talk about a page, instead of giving you guys a link now I can just give you, just actually show you the page. And we can go over some things. If you want to check out, some pans or anything like that, we can do that, right? So it makes it a lot better. I know some people would like, yeah, man, it'd be cool if you can just, do that. That'd be cool. Oh, bring it back down. Actually, we can leave it big for now. That's fine. So, yeah, I thought that was interesting, and I thought it was cool we can do that, right? Yeah, what's up with that? Said, see, 61 people here and only 23 likes. What? Come on, guys, nail it. Thumbs up. Thumbs up city. Susan Ann, good to see you in there. He said, hey there, Chris. Ann, subs. Good to see you in there, Suzanne. Oh, Susan, I'm sorry. I'm thinking Susan Ann. I just combined them. Susan. Susan Ann says, love from Australia. I hope you're staying indoors. I know they were... I know it was New Zealand. I think they said a complete shutdown other than essentials. So I hope you're in the house, and if you got immediate family, that everybody's staying safe and staying out of this crap. Not worth it, right? Kyle says, thumbs up always here for show. Well, I appreciate that, Kyle. Johnston said, Chris, I clearly saw some kind of grid system on your moon video, or vid, either way. Earlier it looked like some archaeology digs visited. Oh, okay, I see what you're saying. Am I crazy? No, I mean, oh my God. It's like they throw all kinds of crap at these photos, right? And I think they even revisited these photos. In other words, you got one from Apollo 11, let's say, for example. They go back to them, they're probably saying, listen, everybody's getting these computers, they're analyzing these photos. Go back and do what you can to throw some extra garbage over these photos. So if they lay a grid pattern over the top of it, what happens, right? You lose detail in it. Or you can't see the details quite as good, right? So, yeah, I thought that was pretty interesting that they would do that. But I'm not surprised, that's for sure. Of course, I think they're careful even if there isn't a virus. Well, yeah, I mean, they've got to be, right? But, yeah, it's good to, I was saying on my other, when I had the test live feed I was doing, I said, yeah, take this serious, guys. Take it serious. Stay indoors if you're, local officials say stay indoors. Like I was telling them, I said, well, some of you have already heard this, but I said, for me, because, I'm part of the essential, I gotta work. But to me, if I look at it this way, if they told me, by the way, we're closing your business down or whatever for 3 weeks, you don't have to tell me twice. I'm out. And people are like, oh, I'm going stir crazy, man. This is crazy. I wish I can get out and about. I get it. I mean, I'd be the same way, but man, I could use a vacation. Are you kidding me? I'd be like kicking back, watching videos, hit the exercise room, get some cardio in. I mean, it wouldn't bother me. I'd be happy. Like I said, it wouldn't hurt my feelings in the least bit. Susan Ann says, thumbs up, people. Get it, get her. You got to love the first one, thumbs down. You got to love that. It just makes you wonder, these trolls that come out of nowhere, right? I think it's hilarious. Oh, he must be going live. Thumbs down. Oh, has everybody else heard about that? Anybody? Anybody feeling hurt and sad about that? People are pathetic. Miss Heard says, hey. MC Game, outstanding work on the moon vid, Chris. Well, I appreciate it, man. Yeah, that one there is pretty interesting because when you look at that, again, try to bring out any of the lines that's being covered up, and all of a sudden that landscape turns totally different. Like something's clearly there that they're actually checking out. It looks like something completely flat, but when you get all the lines out of that thing, and I show there's actually lines there, and then bring them out, suddenly this landscape takes a little bit different, look to it, and purpose, if you will, right? Yeah, Javon, I'm not sure about that because you said I was watching this video this morning about this boy saying that he was from Mars. What do you think of that? Is it possible? Sure. I'm on the fence about it. I'm more 70-30, meaning I don't believe it. Because anybody can come up with an extravagant story, right? Am I willing to take it completely out of the realm of possibility? No. Is it remotely possible? Sure, I guess. But I'm going to be honest with you. It's not even 70. It's probably 80, 90% at least. Not real. Because like I said, anybody can come up with something. I mean, they could be reading into a lot of this stuff, right? People who said they were, some of the military claimed they were there. They can get stories from that and then say, yeah, that was me. And then come up with and get all this information and twist it into their own story and say, yeah, I was there and all. I mean, like I said, I don't believe it. That's just me, though. Douglas Gardner said the test could have been a good April Fool's joke if I really thought something was wrong. All is well here in Arizona, I guess it is. Or yeah, hold on. Okay. Let me hit live here. Okay. And David R., you said, why do NASA put photos of Mars online when they could easily lie and put photos from somewhere on Earth, especially with you pointing out their mishaps and cover-ups? Well, and I get this question quite a bit, right? Me personally, again, if you were going to fake these, let's say, again, like you're describing, you said right here, put photos of Mars online when they could easily lie and put photos from somewhere here on Earth. Well, that's true. But being that these people are probably some of the smartest people on the planet, again, let's put you in charge of this, though. Okay. I want you to say, we want to fraud this. We want to come out, and fool the public. Would you, if you're going to do that, like you said, it makes perfect sense. Why not do it something on Earth? Like a desert. Let's say a desert. Well, you'd still have to manipulate that out, right? You got cactus, you got whatever else that's alive, maybe something on the surface of the ground, stuff like that. But the fact that there's stuff in these photos and they're taking the stuff out, understand we're not the first ones to see this, okay? This scientist, geologist, so on and so forth, the professionals that actually see these before we do, we are not the first ones to see this stuff. So once they see it and get theirs, in other words, they'll get, whatever. Like when I say scientists, geologists, I'm talking about people that work for NASA or the higher ups, right? So they get to see the real McCoy, the real deal. And when I say probably more scientists get to see it than geologists, because I don't believe that they're looking at rocks and garbage like that. Now, I'm not saying that doesn't go on. Of course it does. I'm saying that what they're really there for, it's going to be the scientists looking over technology or, structures or whatever it may be that they're really looking at on the surface. And clearly they have to block this stuff out. But they make mistakes. Now, if you were going to really fake it, yeah, you would do it. If anything, you would do it more on Earth than you would do on Mars. Then there'd be nothing to take out. Think about that a minute. If you're faking it here on Earth, there should be nothing you have to take out of the photo. And the photos would be pristine, wouldn't they? You would think, because there's nothing to hide here on Earth other than maybe a cactus, like I said. Or just take it in a swath of land that has nothing on it, meaning just boulders and, maybe some buttes and whatever, and that's it. But the fact is that it's not that. There's actually all kinds of stuff we're seeing on the surface that are being hidden. And you can see where it's like been manipulated over, and yet you can see parts of it sticking out. So they're doing their best to go over this stuff, but it makes you wonder, are they letting this stuff out slowly, like a slow disclosure? And anybody who wants to find the stuff can find it? Or are they just making mistakes? It's really could be both. It's hard to tell, right? Oh, this thing just jumped here. Yeah, this thing really jumped on me. Damn. Thank you, Miss Haird. You said I smashed the thumbs up button. Thank you very much. And the other thing is, too, David, you know, you said, especially when you're pointing out these mishaps and cover-ups, I don't think they were thinking ahead of time. Kind of like the moon photos, right? And guys, when you really find this information, you can find out that they had like a primitive, and I don't even know if I want to call it a primitive, because back then it'd be cutting edge. They had like a form of GIMP, which is basically a manipulating software, even back then, back in the 60s. And it's evident because you can look at these photos and see where they blocked out areas, blurred out areas, spotted out, you know, stuff like that. So they had this. So, you know, if they're going to block out stuff on the moon, why would they stop at Mars? Because clearly if they found stuff on the moon to begin with and then said, wow, we're not the only ones in the universe or in the solar system, whatever it may be, then there's going to be something on our planets right here in our own solar system. Where would be the best place to look? The sister planet of Earth. Fourth planet over. It was in the Goldilocks zone. It still pretty much is. So what's that tell you? They're going to block out anything they see there, too. You know? It just makes sense that they would do that. Ian Wentworth, yeah, you said, I did actually see his, by the way. You said, hey, Chris, did you see the real Jimmy Roberts last video? It looks like evidence of rock mimicking software actually being used. Oh, yeah, you can see this everywhere. In fact, I'm going to show you a part of a pan in a second. Just a littlest detail. You go, is that a rock or not? Because when you see like nothing but, you know, unless it's sunlight peeking through parts of the rock or the hill, why is this particular piece different color compared to the rest of it if it's all this orangey puke color, right? Yeah. And I've been saying that for a long time, the rock mimicking software. I mean, it's, you know, they've been using that for quite a while. And I got that from a tip from a long time ago. Somebody had told me, he says, I appreciate you don't say nothing. You know, they didn't give me the name. They gave like this bogus name. But it's not the first time I've heard that. And then I heard, you know, somebody who was supposed to be actually had a family member working for NASA at the time saying the same thing. So, and just by judging at the photos, even if we believe that some of these people were bogus, doesn't really matter because when you look at the photos, clearly you can see the manipulation, the obfuscation, how they sanitize some of these moon photos and they white them out. Oh man, it's so evident. It's not even funny. I don't want to hear the lunar, you know, surface is like, oh, it's highly reflective. Whatever. That's why you can actually look at the LROC photos and they look as plain as day and they look really good, right? So where's the reflection there? Yeah, especially on the brighter side of the moon, if you will, right? Instead of the back side of it. And you can see that pretty darn good. Oh, you said, yes, just chilling. Oh, good for you, Susan. Yeah, just don't even bother with this crap. Just, like I said, if they told me tomorrow to stay indoors, I would. Shep, what's going on? He said, new guy here. Well, I don't know about them being new, but what's good, Chris? Nice to see you again. Been a while. Yeah, it has. Good. I'm glad you're back. Been through the muck, but better for it. Hope everyone has a great weekend. Stay safe, everyone. Peace. Oh, I'm glad to see you in there, man. I hope you're doing the same. And, you know, whatever you run into, I hope you know, pass it and, you know, basically whoop its ass, if you know what I mean. Any problem you run into. But it's good to see you in there, man. Renee Vaughn, you said in your moon video, I thought I saw a house with two chimneys. You gave an example of a spaceship at 733. Yep, I remember. Kind of looked like almost like a cigar-shaped type thing. I looked with my eyepiece. Really looks like a house, but it could also be an optical illusion. Yeah, that's what you got to be careful of, right? And I think I know which part you're talking about. It's kind of like towards the end part. It's like the left-hand side of it. And it does. It gives you that weird illusion. So this is the reason why I don't get really, unless of course it's up close, I don't really get too, I hate to just say what it may be because all we can do is speculate, right? So I just say, even if it was a spacecraft, which it could be anything from manipulation that they kind of went over and painted over it. It's hard to tell. But being the way that thing looked like a platform, once it's enhanced, it's hard to tell what's sitting over there. That's what's crazy. And I really didn't know what to call it, MC Gamer. You're like jumping out the window. My kids are driving me crazy, but you guys keep me sane. That's a good one. Yeah, I mean, that's good. But, just give them, their own little things to play with video games and everything else and say, guys, have fun with that. But I know what you mean. Miss Heard, you said the more Mars anomalies I see, the more their civilization destruction carvings, etc. really are Earth-like. Yeah, absolutely. They have a good resemblance, right? They remind you of big time of something very similar, right? A lot of similarities. Oops. Yeah, of course. You said, I mean, the people that go to the ISS. Well, absolutely. Like I said, they send the supplies to them, so it's on board basically a spacecraft that's basically a cargo ship, if you will, right? So you can imagine they have to sterilize this stuff before they even put it on there to even go to the ISS. So, that could be a problem. Can you imagine everybody on there getting it? So, I think, to me, it's just like, I'm sure they're being super cautious, and if not, I'm sure they're giving them something that'll fight it and saying, I personally think they got a cure for it. They got a vaccine. Because if this thing is actually, and again, you can look it up, put coronavirus patent, it's been since 2004. The only thing they're doing is modifying this thing, because if it was a warfare kind of germ, and it's patented, you can look this up, you can Google it, and it's since 2004, and it's not until 2035, I believe it is, to where the patent has its end, so to speak. But it's just, all it is just modified. It's like a SARS, man. It's like the SARS. It's the same thing, only modified to maybe be a little bit more effective on people, cut the population a bit. How long did it take to kill X amount of people? Couple months? Not good. So, yeah, I think this stuff is totally, it's engineered. You know what I mean? Kyle Harvey, you said I talked to people all over the world, and some of them are in phase 3 where the government comes door to door to make sure that you're quarantined. Well, absolutely, they should, because for some reason they just don't get it. Now, I'm not saying a majority of people are saying, yeah, I'm just going to do what they say and I'm going to stay home. I'm going to just enjoy my time off. And when they say it's over, the coast is clear, then off you go. My only problem with it is, and I don't know if you guys agree with this, but to me, they should just shut the damn countries down, period, for 2 or 3 weeks. Because what good is it if they say, okay, my company's going to close down, so you get 2 to 3 weeks off. You go, yeah, awesome. But there's still people over there still going through it and still being passed on. So now I go back to work, and guess what? Now I caught it. So what's the point? So let's say I didn't have it, and then I get it, and then I pass it on again. So there's no way to do that. The only way to do is actually close everything completely down. Or to me, it seems like it's counterproductive. What do you guys think of that? I don't know if I can make this thing bigger. I don't know if I can or not. Let's see. All right, that's better. All right. Jimmy, you're sick. Thumbs down was from me, Chris. What's going on, Jimmy? I hope you're doing well, man. You're not getting all hyped up on this, are you? This virus. That's good, though. At least I know you're here, right? But what do you think about this? I know you guys are probably just going about your thing. I know people should, and I've been telling everybody this. It is serious. It's not something to joke about. You should listen to your local officials. Stay home. Helps to stop the spread. And but most of all, don't panic about it. Just do your thing, and then And go home and stay there, you know, if you have to go out. But yeah, that's to me anyway. Photography light and magic, that's a good one. How to make a NASA photo. Print it out, shit on it, stand on it, and scan it back in and put 20 textures over it, do it all over again, and then make it available to the public after compressing it shitless. And you're right. I mean, I can only imagine the really raw photos. They call these raw. It's trash. And all we're finding is bits and pieces of this stuff, and it angers you because you kind of wish you can see the, you know, real raw, like it just came from the rover straight here, or the Mars Reconnaissance Orbiter. I was going to say Reconnaissance, I don't know. But anyway, the MRO. And you know this thing, and it actually says that the way they state it, it can take unprecedented details of Mars' surface. I'm sorry, I haven't seen it yet. The rovers are the same way. They can take high-definition photos as well as videos. Has anyone ever seen a video of it? No. It just goes to show you that they're full of it. And they do have, and I'm almost positive they do, they've got quantum communications. So they're probably seeing this like you're streaming me right now into your living rooms or wherever you're at. You can almost bet that they're streaming this stuff almost instantly. And even if they're not, let's suppose for a moment they're doing it like 10 to 30 second increments and then sending the information. It's almost like boom, seconds as opposed to 20 minutes from here to Earth. It's like I said, that PDF that I read about these, one guy that worked at NASA and the other one didn't, he claimed it was seconds. And he said there's no way they could do that. It's almost like as soon as it got Earthrise and the rover could see it, it sent the information, and it was no way it was 20 minutes. It literally sent it like within instantly. It was like boom, it locked in a signal, had the information within seconds, not minutes. That's quantum communications. That is not traditional radio waves, if you will. So, you know, it just goes to show you that these guys are a lot more advanced than we're led on to believe. Alien Tenor says, in UK we've had lovely blue skies, no planes overhead. Then around 6 p.m., sky got hammered. Oh yeah, text one of my friends who thinks chemtrailing is bull. Yeah, and now he's starting to believe. Well, yeah. Listen, there's a difference between a contrail and a chemtrail, right? Contrails are basically like your car exhaust in the wintertime. You got steam, you got a hot engine in the cold, and it's got hot exhaust going into a cold atmosphere, lower atmosphere, of course. But when you get a chemtrail, it just lingers, it spreads, and it basically makes the sky milky. There's a big difference between the two. And you can see a contrail, which will follow X amount of feet behind it, and then you see it dissipate as that jet's flying along. You know, you just see it kind of like dissipating. And it's following, like it's a certain distance away from the back of the jet, and it seems to follow because it fades off, and it fades off as that. But when you got a chemtrail, it just literally is a line, and you just see it spread out into a milky mess. Yeah. There's a big difference between the two. Oh, yeah, Pete, you're right about that. You said you could spend days cutting through the crap NASA puts over the photos. I think you meant photos because you put vids, but yeah, I mean, yeah, it's crazy how much stuff they'll put over there. Susan Ann, yeah, trolls be like, you got that right. Whoop. I hate it when it says, like, you know, comment hell for review, and then you hit it and it goes, whew, it jumps by everybody. So if I miss anyone, just if you got a question, just go ahead and just text it again or write it again. Ian Wentworth, you said, what about CIA's Project Stargate? Remote viewer saw stuff in Cydonia from 1 million BC, real or fake? I don't know if that's real or fake, to be truthful. I know they were talking about, I don't know if you're talking about the same interview they had with that remote viewer, where they had him in a room, gave him, you know, coordinates, and then they described what they saw. You know, they would just have him, sometimes they'd have him in the same time stamp type thing or a different time, but they'd keep him in, or they just keep him in that same year or era, call it what you like, and they would just move them around a little bit in Cydonia, and they would come out with some really bizarre things, like canyons, like extremely tall, structures that, that had just walls and no ceilings, and how they finally, one of these people with remote viewing ran into one of these aliens, and they were talking about how, yeah, we had a group of us go look for life somewhere else. We're dying here on this planet. We're waiting for them to get back, so on and so forth. And it just makes you wonder, did they finally find a place to go, which was here? But of course, they did say that they did find a place, and they said it was they could live on it, but it was almost like they were talking about, it was still kind of a crazy world, but they could live on it. But I guess it meant anything, better than dying. So how did they get there? And clearly, they must have had spacecraft. I mean, how do they do that unless they could do that? So were they talking about Earth at the time? Who knows? Poor Garden says, hello, Chris, and the room. What's going on? Good to see you in there. Limey Watcher's in the house. What's going on there? What's going on there, Limey Watcher? What's going on there, Timothy Pendleton? Good to see you in there. Oh, all right, Jimmy. Yeah, I remember you saying that in your video. You said, Chris, my wife is an RN house supervisor at the hospital. We are taking it very seriously. Yeah, I don't think it's something. And then I was telling these guys earlier because I was doing a test, hangout on my Lunar Anomalies and Beyond channel. And I was telling them we get some lunatics around here. I don't know if you heard it in your state because I think you're in Texas. I'm not sure, but you can remind me. But funny thing about it is, these people, these younger kids, think they're immune to this, and they're literally walking around there licking the handles of these shopping carts, toilet seats. I'm going, what is wrong with these people? And the funny thing about it is, they had him on there like, I don't know if it was 3-4 days later, whatever it was. Suddenly, he's got the coronavirus. I went, yeah. I mean, it's like walking into a ballroom talking smack to everybody in there. You're about to get smacked. I mean, it's going to happen. You ask for it, you're going to get it, right? So what was this person thinking? They didn't say that younger people couldn't get it. They said older people are more susceptible to it, or people who have a weak immune system, had heart surgery, high blood pressure, diabetes, so on and so forth, right? Those are the people who should watch out for it. They didn't say that younger people couldn't get it and that they couldn't be, some of these people were dying, even infants. I mean, it's nothing to take lightly. And yet these people are just like parading around, people in Florida, they're all bunched up in groups. They figure because they're outside that they're not going to catch this. Well, hell, all I can do is sneeze on a bunch of people over there. I don't have to be inside a building to do that. But for some reason, they have this attitude like, well, I can't get it, so therefore I don't care. You should. But I told people I wouldn't panic about it. Just do what your local officials tell you to do and stay indoors. If you've done your shopping, you're good. And that's pretty much it. Stay in there and just enjoy the vacation, so to speak. Some people are telling me, oh, man, what were they saying? Something about, I'm being, I'm going stir crazy. 3 weeks, give me 3 weeks to stay home. But, my job is a necessity. I have to be at work. So I don't have a choice. Just like your wife and so on and so forth. I'm not sure if you're in the same boat, but yeah. Photography light magic, that's a good one. If you run out of food, eat the neighbors that have all those wild parties that piss you off. That'll do it. Anybody ever see Soylent Green, the movie? Just as soon as you said that, that's what it reminded me of. Jimmy. Oh, Lord, Chris is going to talk about unintended radio frequencies again. Get out the dictionary and Wikipedia. No, not unless they want to know about it. But, exactly. HDOS 1AV, the contrail is just water vapor. Again, it's just like what comes out of your car exhaust in the cold. It's the same thing. And what does it do? It just dissipates. It's the same thing with a jet. It's no different. But when you got a chemtrail, totally different. Hell, I see it all the time. I'll see just regular clouds. Everything's good. And all of a sudden, boom. Cross patterns across the sky. And it just blocks out the sun. Lance Smith Blanco said it's too late to go back and cover anything up. That just shows that NASA still thinks that we are stupid. I mean, come on. Does NASA really think we are that dumb? That really pisses me off. Yeah, you're a bunch of yard apes. That's what it comes down to. They can't handle the truth. Again, I've said this a million times. We're desensitized to this crap, right? Now, I'm not saying you wouldn't be freaked out if you've seen a spaceship the size of something like an Independence Day, right? Clearly, everybody would probably brown themselves, and they would need all the toilet paper that they've bought recently because they're knuckleheads. But, to me, it's like, again, when these astronauts went to the moon, like, again, Apollo 11, when they went there, these guys were debriefed before they left. Again, we've seen this. We talked about this, where they're like, yeah, we're going, and they're waving to the public before they get on the spacecraft. Everybody's good, and it shows they're having fun playing golf on the moon, and all of a sudden they come back, and they're just completely somber. Again, like they lost their parents in a car crash. No way, no how do you go from one, the biggest step for man to, oh my God, we should kill ourselves. You guys seen the press conference where they're like, oh man, you could just see them just going like this. They just didn't want to be there. And they were you can't even imagine what they saw on the moon. Totally blown away, totally out of their minds. So I can understand that because you're on somewhere where you don't belong. In other words, you've never been there. You get there. And let's say this craft that's been there, that's been crashed there for thousands of years or millions of years, and structures that ain't ours. You can't imagine how scared they probably were, right? It just doesn't make any sense. These guys, if they were up there like they claimed, and that's why I think if there's anything fake about the moon landing is some of those videos, because how do you go from, woo, wow, and playing golf and, throwing out rooster tails with the lunar buggy to coming back, look like they didn't want to be there, like they totally were screwed up. I mean, come on, it makes you wonder. You got to question this stuff. Yeah, I was trying to get somebody on there, Grant. You asked a good question. You said, could you enhance your channel with special guests, scientists, writers, and those share our beliefs? Take care from England. Yeah, I mean, I would love to do that. There's a couple of people I was trying to get on, but some of these guys are so darn busy. They look at somebody, YouTube channel. I'm really not interested when they're going to these huge, like these halls and stuff and having talks, right? So some of them just can't be bothered. Some of them, you're waiting to see what happens and stuff like that. So I do try it every now and then to see if these people, would get on like Skype. Clearly if you can't go see them, then you can try to Skype them. It's like my good friend Ken Johnston. When I had him on my channel, you can go through my main channel and just search it. He was on there. Brett Colin Shepard was on there. We talked about, and of course, if nobody knows who Ken Johnston is, Ken Johnston Sr., he was the one that was told to take the 5 copies of all the moon photos and toss them in the can. Well, he decided to keep 2, throw the other 3 away, and he asked, at first he said, hey, how about we give these photos to these, universities? Nope, we don't want to hear nothing about it, get rid of him. Okay, he said, and he took the loophole because they said, we don't care what you do with them, just get rid of them. Okay? So he took that as, okay, I'll throw the 3 out and I'll keep 2. So he brought one to, I'm not sure which university it was. He brought it to them, and in no time it disappeared. He's got the only one that's public, the only copy of them. He's got them. Now, they're like supposedly, I think they're like a second generation. They're not the first because they've been manipulated as well. But if you look at the ones after this, the one he's got that's prior to all the other generations, 3rd and 4th generation, they're like totally different. They have so much better detail, so much better. So usually as a rule, I'll go for his photos. And you can put Ken Johnston Sr. photos, and it'll take you right to a couple of the sites that he has them on. They're still messed with, but they look a lot better than the third and fourth generation. Exactly, Isabel. Morton, you said, yeah, not anymore. We speaking in large hall, yeah. Yeah, Miss Haird, yeah. He said, oh my God, I showed my grandmother that Apollo 11 interview today. She immediately caught on that Neil and, well, Buzz, yeah, acted destroy. Well, and even to this day, he's still not right. I mean, if you remember how he was all calm, cool, and collected, just nice and chilled out. Everything was good. It showed, in fact, they had some video of them going through like the physical test and everything like that. Everything was good. And then all of a sudden, what happened? You see him now, he's like, it's like he's taking medications. He's not right. The guy's not right. And I think that was one of the things that made him what he is today, is that mission. I guarantee it. Because like I said, how do you go from, just happy-go-lucky, boy, we can't wait to make this mission, to they don't want to be there. And you can bet they said, listen, when you go on stage for this press conference, you are not to say a word about what you're seeing. I mean, this is the reason why some people laughed. Do you remember that when they asked them, they said, so, did you guys see the stars? Stars? They're looking at each other, literally questioning, like, stars? Oh, I don't remember. And they were like, oh, yeah. So they were fake. The moon missions are fake. I don't know about you guys, but I would not recognize or even think to look for the stars when I'm looking at a crashed spacecraft on the moon, or structures that are not man's, meaning not of anything of Earth. I wouldn't be looking at stars. That's one thing I would not be concentrating on. And you probably wouldn't even think to look at that because you'd be so occupied by what you're seeing and what you have to bring back. They probably took like small technology back instead of this, briefcase full of rocks. Yeah, okay. Yeah, I don't think that's the case at all. And like I said, I just did a moon video. You guys can jump over to Lunar Anomalies and Beyond. And what I exposed in that particular Apollo 16 photo, yeah, they're not just for dust and garbage. Trust me. Exactly, Kyle. That's because they were told to keep shut their freaking mouths. Oh yeah, absolutely. The Inquisitor says, I don't think that they did go to the moon at all. I guess it was supposed to be Van Allen instead of the Van Halen. But yeah, Van Allen bells, etc. Well, see, that's the difference. A lot of people get this idea that they can't go through the Van Allen belts. First of all, the Van Allen belts change. They're almost like the Aurora Borealis, right? Where they actually move so they know basically at the North and South Pole they're thinner. They're at their thinnest. So where they're going to go through. Secondly, a lot of people don't know that you can have a third. There's only two Van Allen belts, but there could be three, depending on the solar activity, the sun's activity, right? So you can have three of these at any given time. So, but they knew how to go about those and go through the thinner parts of it. And you're not going in through for hours upon hours at a time, right, guys? They're literally just flying through the most thinnest part they can find, and they're going, and then they're getting through it. So that's not an issue for them. A lot of people say, well, no, the Van Allen belts are clearly for, it's not like a force field, and if you go through it, it's like a death sentence. That's not what that means. Again, it's thinnest at the North and South Pole. So you could bet they went through there, through closer to one of the poles, as opposed to going straight out through the equatorial region of space, right? So they were smarter to do that. They knew how these things acted. They can tell because they got test equipment out in space. They can see where the Van Allens are at the time. And even if they went through it, it's for a very brief period of time. So it's not enough to kill them. Unless, of course, you stayed there and went through the thickest part, then you may have an issue. But as you can see, these astronauts lived rifle old age, pretty darn old age. But that's a big, it's a big farce that they can't go through the Van Allens. People need to educate themselves. It's absolutely they can. Look it up. Like I said, a lot of people don't even know there's more than two Van Allen belts at any given time. Elaine, well, Van Halen belts are impassable because they're made out of really hard rock. Got that right. Is that going to happen? Good one. Jimmy, yeah. Chris and I can't be on the show together. Our accents would cancel each other out. It's all good. Javon, you said, hey, Chris, what do you think about the radiation off the 5G polo that people saying it is cast sickness and it's not COVID? I don't believe that's the case at all. A lot of people have been saying that about 5G. It's basically just different frequencies. It's like anything else. You know, if you're next to your traditional 4G, 3G towers, they claim don't be so close to it because it can cause irritation to your skin. Any transmitter and you're close to it, yeah, it's a problem. It can cause some cancers depending on the frequency. It can cause... So it's nothing new. It's just a different frequency band, right? So it's not like a death sentence, although I don't know if I'd want to be living right next to the tower itself because it's a transmitter, like I said. So, well, it's a receiver too because that's how it triangulates where you're at. So if you're here with your cell phone, you hit your GPS, well, it's going to triangulate where you are. What's one you're closest to, and then give you a position where you're at. Although it's not 1,000,000% accurate, it's pretty darn close, right? You can be off like maybe a street off or whatever, but it can pretty much triangulate where you're at. So that to me is that's BS, the 5G. Now, again, radiation is everything. Like I said before, I've got a ham radio here. I've got scanners here. If I was to put this on the business band, which is like the frequency I use is 151.940 megahertz, if you put it on there with the small rubber ducky in the back of it, not the outside antenna I have, but the small one, and key that thing up, you'll literally feel your face get flush. And it really, it's basically radiation burning. It literally would burn your face. So yeah, it's a no-no. You don't want to be next to that. But that's the only reason. It's not going to be what you're seeing here. It's not what's causing that. Although, some people want to believe that's true. But if you do the homework on it, you'll find that's not the issue. Renee Vaughn, you said in the Netherlands if you have the COVID-19 click line bizarre, if people do not follow the guidelines. Massino. Oh, I'm sorry. Massanissa, I'm sorry. Saw that real quick. Hello to everyone here. What's going on? Good to see you in there. I'm sorry, Jimmy. I couldn't do it, man. I just love the channel too much. Couldn't shut it down. Let me jump way down here. I usually have the other one right here, my live feed, but because I'm using my software, my recording software to go live, it's up there now on the other monitor because I got one here. My other I use the receiving computer, right? So I'm watching what you guys see, and it's got a little bit of a delay. But up there, it's usually down here. But this way I can show you guys different photos and stuff. But, yeah. Now, there's the guy with all the money right there, the toilet paper man. He says, Chris, do you think that the astronauts made contact on the moon with other beings and that could be attributed to the press conference? I don't know if they actually did. A lot of people said they were warned to stay off the moon, stuff like that. I don't know if I buy all that, but I know for a fact if I was to go up there and see just something laying there that my own government says, by the way, and debriefed us and said, by the way, what you're about to see is not ours. It's nobody here on Earth. And how we know that is because nobody could have made this technology at the time. We believe this stuff's been here for millions of years. So clearly we didn't have the technology to do that. So when you guys go up there, this is what you're going to see. The only difference is instead of seeing a satellite view of this said object or objects, you're going to be ground level looking up at it. So depending on the size of these things, you can imagine, I don't care how hardcore you are, you're going to be frightened because there's nobody to help you on the moon. Now there was some video that my buddy Thomas had done and they had a recording saying, wow, it looks, he says, you see them blocks down there in that crater? He said, yeah. And there was lights down there, and they said, boy, it looks like it's really desolate. He said, I bet them people never get out. So, I mean, what the hell? Who the hell are they talking about? Unless, the other thing I thought about was that there's still, but the way they talked about crater, and because I thought about this a while back, and I'm going, is it possible they were still, like, leaving Earth, and they seen some lights, like, let's say it's a dark part of, that's like midnight in one of these countries, and all you see is a couple lights on. But then I went, wait a minute, he did say crater. So I'm going, man, that is weird how they would just come out and say that. So there's a lot of things that these people probably saw, these astronauts, and probably said, wow, I mean, how do you wrap your mind around something like that? It's almost impossible. And like I said, I don't care how hardcore you are. You go up there and see something like that, especially depending on the size of these things, yeah, you'll do everything you can not to crap yourself, let alone try to stay, hardcore, if you will. Let me see here. Miss Heard, you said Google NBC News and the 12 astronauts, who walked on the moon. Go to the picture of the astronaut beings, paintings of beings of being on the moon. Very revealing. He couldn't show us actual censored NASA photos. Well, yeah, I mean, these guys, I'm 1,000,000% they seen something on the moon. They were not going up there for dust. They were not going up there for rocks. That was a PR move. That was a bunch of garbage. Bring back this little silver briefcase with some rocks and some dust, and we'll just tell the people, the public, that's what we went there for. Clearly, they did not go there for that. It's much more than that. I'm just listening to you guys going back and forth too, so I'm just kind of looking at the comments. Renee Vaughn, you said, Chris, I had to explain a bit. It is not about the object you're circling, but it is about what is just before 733 your moon video of a house. Well, you had mentioned that earlier, and I was trying to understand because I looked real. When you look at it, it kind of has like these squares and stuff. So I was trying to, maybe that's what you were talking about? Oops. Hate when this thing jumps up like this. Damn it. H-1AV said that's why they were military test pilots. And a lot of them were in the military. They were actually jet pilots. So they were familiar with G's and everything else, so it made them easily transition into being an astronaut, right? Ian Wentworth, he said the astronauts reported on the medical channel that the ships were parked along the rim of the crater watching them, or along those lines. Yeah, they actually did say that. They were like, these things are big, man. They're on the side of the crater, and they're watching us. So I'm not sure, if that's true, then yeah. But were there something actually in those crafts, meaning aliens themselves, or were those things just sitting there? We don't know, right? They said that they're watching us. Did they actually see them through like windows? I mean, yeah. Either way, it still would frighten the hell out of you, right? Think about it. Aliens in it or not, darn well it would scare the living hell right out of you. me see. Kyle, he said, plus about UFOs, all of these people cannot be lying. There's credible witnesses out there. Plus, you have crop circles, which were proven not to be fake. Yeah, I mean, because we know that they had, remember the original ones? And it's almost like they try to take people off the track there, right? Off the beaten path. They're like, well, no, these guys did it with wood. Remember they had a piece of rope and it was in 2 holes of the wood and they would just kind of stomp and just go out in circles. And, oh, no. I think they seen these things, and then what they did was they had these guys come up with this cockamamie, excuse or, this is how they did it. No way. Not the way these things are as intricate as they are, right? Now, some of them, yeah, they're bogus. Some of these things, no. I didn't see Eric Blair in there. I mean, actually, I did. What was it? Erica Joy's in there. I'm just going down these here. Eric Blair, he said, we've got to accept aliens exist. Too much evidence. Oh, yeah, come on. Even if we didn't have that, like I said, the idea you look out into, the night sky and these thousands upon thousands of stars, planets, whatever, what you're seeing, there's no way that it's just us here. There's no way. And I think, and I've said this before, let's suppose our moon, Mars, and any other place in our solar system that they're looking at, sending flyby, orbiters or just flyby craft, it doesn't matter, right? Going into the atmosphere of these planets, at some point, they have to believe, okay, let's say they find it on the moon, they're finding stuff on Mars, maybe in Titan, the moon, so on and so forth. They're going to go, wait a minute, why aren't we finding alien life on any of these? Think about that a minute. I've said this before. How do we know that this isn't like an old neighborhood, so to speak, where there was life in this whole solar system at one time? Because we do have a second sun. We do have we are a binary solar system, or at least we were. Now it's a burned out dwarf, and it's orbiting way out in space. Now, if we had life on every single planet, because there's a sun here, way out, and there's a sun here on the sun we have now, why not? Again, and I said this before, where we have, like I said, I shared with you guys that scientists had said that 65 million years ago, when the dinosaurs were walking around, that our solar system was in a totally different part of the galaxy. Makes you wonder, how do we know we didn't interact, or the solar system didn't interact with another solar system that was close by, and these aliens jumped on there at one time in our solar system and then jumped back off, and all we're seeing is remnants of what it was. Pure speculation, but how do we know? Makes you wonder. I'm in Gagna, 68. Chris, great video from the moon that I recently watched. Take care. Well, I appreciate that. Phil Cox and daughters Jessica and Kelsey Brown is in there too. Good to see you in there. First aim, he said, think about our progress with DNA, and advanced civilization would create any intelligent form. Well, yeah, I mean, they'd be a lot more advanced, and they probably can do this without not even trying, right? They probably have it so down pat that they can pretty much make a being, let alone, like from scratch, as opposed to altering a DNA, right? MC Gamer, thank you very much for your support, as always. For some toilet roll, big Chris. Yeah, I mean, guys, these people are funny with this toilet paper stuff. I still got people asking me, oh, you guys have any toilet paper in? It's like, really? People ain't past that stage yet? No, because we get a full truckload of it and take it home. Again, MC Game, thank you very much for your support. Whoop. The Inquisitor, you said the Tether experiment, that was something else. Did you ever see that clip? Geez. Yeah, absolutely. I think the Tether was a mile long. And it was funny because when it did get away from the actual astronauts and the craft, and when it unraveled, this thing was like I said, it was like a mile long. And you could see this thing out there, and all of a sudden you start to see all these little orbs flying above it and below it. One was huge. I think they guesstimated it to around 300 feet and at least 300 feet wide, right? So you can imagine, like, what is this stuff? They said, well, it's probably something from the spacecraft you were seeing, like frost particles or frozen water particles. They're going, no, this thing's passing under the tether. It's nowhere near the spacecraft. So it defeated that kind of argument. And you can see all these little orbs, like they were inspecting it and checking it out, and then they had this really large round disc type thing underneath the thing. That's crazy. That was cool. Yeah, you can actually, look that up, guys. Pretty neat. Grant McGowan, you said the vid you did about Titan was awesome. It was plain to me that it has uncovered a sprawling city. Yeah, some of these things, I mean, they're like so, washed that you don't see any depth. All you see is like a 2D. You don't see it's like a painting on a wall, right? You can see it's got good detail, it looks pretty good, but there's no depth to it. So once you put the depth in it, meaning the darker areas, the blacks part of the video where you see shadows, now the shadows become evident. The lines that are dark suddenly are darker, like I just did in that moon video, the moon one. That one there, again, bring out all the lines that are originally in the photo, and guess what happens? It literally, boom, it pops them, and now you can start to see real shapes, and it literally unfolds in front of you, right? Yeah, it's crazy stuff in there. Elaine Walls, thank you very much for your support, as always. If you can get it, Elaine. He said, since you already got toilet paper, use this for hand sanitizer, LOL. Yeah, I mean, it's like liquid gold, right? Oh, my God. I actually was carrying one around, and there's a woman that come up to me, she says, oh, do they have that on the shelf? I said, no, ma'am, they sure don't. She said, would you sell that to me? She haunted me. I said, no, ma'am, this is for myself. I've been using it. She's like, oh, no, I'll pay you for it. No, ma'am, I'm sorry. I mean, just, what is wrong with people? You can literally make the stuff out of alcohol and like what? What was it? Something else. You can actually make this. I'm trying to think of it here. There's a couple of different things you can make it with, right? Some people even said they use like dish soap because it's antibacterial, right? So I guess anything would work, but some of these people are like, whew. It's like a crack person. I gotta have it, man. Gotta have it. It's like a junkie. Yeah, you got that right. Vodka makes great hand sanitizer. So doesn't gasoline. But I don't think I'd want to do that. Noodles, I don't know. I think if you guys were asking on Aliens live feed, somebody had asked about Glockner. I don't know. MIA, man. I don't know. It's hard to tell. And I haven't really been checking up on him. Has anybody seen anything from him at all? Yes, third eye open. Yeah, aloe vera gel. Yeah, you can use that. with alcohol, and there's your hand sanitizer. Well, it was funny, too, because they bought the crap out of any alcohol we had in the store. I'm like, what is going on here? But then you realize, okay, that makes sense, right? Yeah, you can do that too, Linda Borum, yeah. My brother's using apple cider vinegar. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, Justy, that's what we were just talking about. Yeah, absolutely. Kyle saying 100 people strong. 103 watching right now. 98 I'm getting with 98 thumbs up. Hit that like thumbs up, guys. That likes. Bam. Let me see. Oops. Z Quantum Bleep, you said, I've been looking at in and around the Big Dipper last couple of nights for Atlas without luck. Any other suggestions regarding place of a May special time? Maybe a special time? I'm not sure, to be truthful with you. Oh, yeah, Pete, it's been crazy, I'm telling you. Now we've got companies around here making the stuff, and that's not even what they make. But they are now. You said New York police had to get 2 barrels of sanitizer from Perel in a state that makes it. Yeah, makes its own. Eric Blaze said you definitely have a gift for digging out the details. Good job, Chris. Well, I appreciate it, Eric. Well, like I said, it's all about lines. Like I said, if they go out of their way to put like a ghosted out object over something they're trying to hide, right? If they put it over there, you're still going to see the lines. In other words, I know you guys have seen this, where you see like a rock or something. You can see like there's something behind it. It's underneath it. And that's the key. If you can bring out the lines to that, let's say part of it's sticking out of this obfuscation or manipulation, and the rest of it's hidden behind this blurred out area. If you can bring out the rest of the lines, you can almost bring out that object. And that's the key to it. No, hold on, there's a jump. MC Gaming said, "Hey Chris, when is the premiere of the Titan video? Mate, can't wait to see it." Well, like I said, it's not going to really be so much anomalous as it is questioning some of the photos we see, right? And maybe some anomalous stuff in it. It depends on what we see in it. But yeah, I hate like hell because they don't show a lot of photos with a lot of great detail, right? It's either very far away or it's either blurred out. Whatever it may be, it's like they're totally like doctoring these things up. And there's not a whole lot of them. If you guys look this up, there's not a whole lot of these photos of Titan. Noodles, you said John Watt has almost 2,000 subscribers. Awesome. Yeah, that's good. He's got a good channel. I think he should get all kinds of subscribers. He does good work. Kyle said they are like robots and don't even think that they don't have drones small as a speck of dust. Oh, I've seen drones really small, too. They're like friggin' insects, for crying out loud, right? Yeah, just crazy when you see these things. You're like, what? Those things, that's an actual drone? Oops. Photography like magic. The aliens have gave up on abducting people and went into business making toilet paper that massages your bum. It might be very lucrative. Josh D says all you who follow Chris should follow Jean as well. Jean Ward 2. Absolutely. Noodle said, gotta think. Mrs. Glock knows the score or who's playing. Oh, absolutely. I mean, it's hard to tell just how, bad that situation is over there. But, hell, I thought he actually came back and was rocking it again, but guess not. Well, I don't know. I never heard about that, Renee. You said, saying it to Noodle, you said, Tyler, currently serving 3 months jail and rehabilitation by himself in cell for DUI, prescription drugs, domestic violence, refused to go to halfway house rehab, says Goof on Radio Network. Alien Tenno. That's pretty funny. That's a good one. Chris is keeping it tightened to his chest. Lantus Blanco, he said, hey, Chris, just wanted to say thank you for giving us something to look forward to during these times, and I think I can speak for all of us. Thank you. Well, like I said, I mean, it's the same thing for me, right? I come in here, I was like, oh, man, I get to sit there and talk to these guys, and we can, check out some things and, whatever we want to do here, which is pretty cool. So, no, it's actually, I appreciate everybody being here, to be truthful with you, because it is cool, and it does give you an out, right? I mean, because if you got something to look forward to, and especially if you're going to be trapped up in the house all the time, that's not any fun, right? Eric Blair, he said, what have NASA planned for 2020? Well, they do have the rover going up in this month. They got the new rover 2020. Perseverance is the name of it. It's going up in, like I said, April of this, well, it's this month. And it's supposed to be on Mars in 2021. So I'll be curious to see that and see how those photos look. And I know a lot of you guys are the same way I am. We'll see how that looks. Oops. Ian, you're right about that. Let's crowdfund a probe to go take our own damn photos of Mars. Probably be the only way you can actually see the real photos. Josh C says he's game for it. MC Gamer, said everyone in the community should check out Lunar on YouTube. It's outstanding. It's got the moon in real color from the Clementine orbiter structures all over the place. Huh. I'm not even familiar with that channel. I am Merkin. I agree with you. He said it's cool watching live, enjoying the subjects talked about. Absolutely. Oops. Move the mic here. Yeah, Grant, I was actually on Richard Hoagland's show for a couple of days. I think it was a couple nights. We had done like a back-to-back. It was me and my buddy Thomas and Will from What's Up in the Sky 37. We were all on there, and we were talking about different subjects. Funny enough, when we were showing the photos, it was our best photos on there. There was suddenly his server got hit. We couldn't get back on it. It even locked out the actual person who made the site. Locked out the administrator, locked out everything. And by the next night, we were able to get back on, and it was still kind of flaky, but we were still able to get on. So, weird how that went down. Oh, okay. Not a channel. It's the name of the video. Oh, okay, I got you. I got you, an MC Gamer. Alien Tenor, you said Russia's Venus probe was interesting. Yeah, I mean, you remember that object that they claimed that they found on there? That thing's part of it's a coupler. You can just see it's part of the actual landing craft. They said, oh, they found something on the moon. I mean, on that on the planet. It's like, no, they did not. That was a coupler. It's like a picture of having like a drive shaft on a car. It had like one side and one side, and it had bolts and bolts, and all you see was the half of it laying there. But it was much larger. It was probably, I don't know how big this thing was, but you could see the two bolts like it had broken off, sticking out of it. You could see it was some kind of coupler or something like that that held something together on that craft. It probably came down harder than they wanted it to, and it just broke. Dave Jones, you said, hi, Chris, just got in. Sorry I missed the start. Hope you and the family are well. And a big hello to everyone else tonight. Be safe, everyone. Dave from the UK. We're all doing good here, Dave. I hope you're doing good as well. I hope you and your family are safe. And just following the rules by your local authorities and staying inside if you have to. And, just look at it as a nice vacation, right? Just chilling. Although some of the days, like, even now, it's like 70 degrees Fahrenheit here. Really nice. It was like 75 earlier. I mean, can't ask for a better day. People are like, I want to get out. I'll get outside, but I'm not around anybody. You know what I mean? And I don't have it. So, I don't want to get in groups if I don't have to. Even at work, I got to try to stay away from people and, things like that. And, of course, sanitize the hands. Don't touch the face, all that other BS. And I wear, like long sleeve shirts. I take them off and I wash them when I come home, so on and so forth. You got to do your part, Funkmaster Dub, what's going on? He said, hi, Chris. Hope you're keeping well, my friend. I am, and I hope you're doing the same, man. Like I said, it's all about just following the rules. Get this thing to just drop off, have a flat top, and then start to drop down, right? That's what it's all about. Kyle, you said we are paying NASA to lie to us. That's the bottom line. Yeah, they are. I mean, they're full of shit. I mean, the good thing about it is that we could try to read through the lines. And like I always say, we're just like seeing this part of an iceberg that's like this freaking big, right? We're just seeing like a little piece of it. Like even here, I can show you this. Well, not that one. That's the photo I just did. Here's a good example. You can see some of this rocks. I've covered some of this before. I'm just going to leave it like this so I don't get lost on where this is. Now you can see all of this brown rock and all of this supposed rock. But when you zoom way in, I'm going to go like this first. Look at this right here. Look at this piece right here in the middle of the screen. Really? Right here. It's gray, symmetrical, has a line like this, and all the rest of it around it is completely orange or whatever. Now, you might say, well, that's the sun shining on it. It could be, but it's still silver. Why isn't the orange piece on top of it, why isn't that also the same color as this? The sun is shining on it as well, right? Let me get this down here. Let me drop this down a little bit so you can see this a little better, because I will be blocking it. We don't want to do that. So you can see that right there in the middle now. Just put this right in the middle of the screen right there. And you can see that. It just has like these two round circles. They're gray. And yet there's an orange piece on top of it. No, that doesn't make sense. There's a lot of stuff in here that we can see that clearly, just look at the smaller pieces. That's what you got to look for. Come on, look at this. Come on. How sad is that? That's like drawn in, man, like a paint. Like in paint on the... in Photoshop or something. What? That doesn't even look real, man. So, you know, these things, they're putting it over an object they're trying to hide. They're just putting it over, right? I mean, look at this. How is that a rock? Look at this right here. That's funny. It just like stops right there, and you can see it's like only so thick, the line. You're supposed to make us believe that's a rock? There's so much stuff in here to see. Look at this right here. Looks like it's got a round circle. Another smaller, almost perfect circle right there in the middle of the screen. What is that? Just little things. Now, I'm not saying none of these things can't be created in nature, but when you see these things all together, it's kind of like, what is that? Like this almost looks like a horseshoe kind of shape. See it? Looks like almost some kind of square thing sticking up right here. Piece overhanging off of it. It's got a little shadow under there, too. But see how this design piece, like it looks like it's designed. Goes like that here. See that? Perfect round circle right there. Yeah. I Am Merkin says, I would love to see a video feed from from Mars. The lander is capable of sending vids or even proper high-res pics of different parts of the planet, not just 50 to 100 square miles of the same area. Well, exactly. And this thing is capable of so much more, right? Like the MRO, the Mars Reconnaissance Orbiter. Again, I've stated this before. The camera, which has a telescopic lens, again, you know, if you're 5'9" to 6 foot, you can literally get in a fetal position and fit inside this camera. It's pretty darn big. And if you can't, you're pretty darn close to doing it. So, you know, they can see like a 4-foot swath on the ground down to that narrow of a piece of land. So you know they got zoom capabilities. Unprecedented details is how they word it on their site. Yeah, it's the HiRISE camera on board the MRO. Yeah, they can see so much more in there. Hey Ron, you said, I love the idea to analyze pictures while on live. Well, that's why I figured that's why I wanted to do this here and just do it live this way so we can actually check out different things. Now, I haven't even gone over this, so anything I see, here's a perfect example. Almost looks like a pipe sticking out. See that right there? Right in the center? Right there. Almost looks like this little pipe type thing sticking out of there. Sometimes the smallest details, that's what it's all about. Some people expect to see this whole structure sitting right there. I'd love to, believe me. There's a little detail in here. That's pretty funky looking. Like this lighter piece it's under the shade. Get this. Under the shade, underneath this flat piece. And you can see this white piece right here. Look at the way this thing's shaped. It's perfect straight edge. Perfect straight edge. It's going behind this straight horizontal piece. See that? And you get this whiter piece right here underneath. It's got one point sticking out of it. Another one right there. Let's see if I can zoom in a little bit more. Oh, yeah. See that? Straight edge. Straight edge going behind this straight piece. Right there. Yep, it said it appears to be H. Toss, you said appears to be metallic. It's another thing I want to tell you guys too. If you go down to the settings on there, make sure you are in 720p. When I did it on Lunar Anomalies and Beyond, I looked at this thing. I said, man, this thing doesn't look very clear. You know, because I'm watching it like you guys are watching on my other computer. I'm saying, that don't look very clear. I went into that little, what looks like a little gear right there in the video box. I hit it, and it was only in 360. So I hit it and went to the 720. You won't get 1080 until this thing's fully processed through YouTube. So 720 is what you want to do, so it'll look a little bit clearer. But it's really not that clear when you zoom in, because you can see if you go back, it looks a little better, right? Go way in, it kind of blurs up. There's a random white piece sticking right out of this thing. Looks like something else right here, a little bit brighter color. Oh, you're right about that, Jack Lambert. The rover moves so slow that sometimes only move a few feet a day. Oh, you're right about that. And the funny thing about it is that, you know, they can actually speed the thing up. I've seen it, a video that was in a test, one of their test yards they had in California, where it's like they hit the rapid button. This thing just took off. Keep in mind, it's a 6-wheel drive. And this thing just took off. And it was moving pretty good. I mean, it was probably only 5 to 10 miles an hour, but compared to the snail crawl that this thing does, yeah, I think it could move a lot faster if they wanted to. You know, if it's in an open area, they want to move it along, they could do that. Oh, yeah. A little bit of fake sand here and there. Activate Photoshop, Eric. Not sure what to make of that thing, and right there in the middle. But see how you got this blur right here? Look at the difference between up here on the right, top right. All of a sudden, right between these rocks is completely blurry. And you just pull back a little bit. All of a sudden, wow, great detail down here again. But yet, right here, it's almost like they manipulate it and then put the blur over so you can't really see and make out any detail. Not sure what that is right there. Look at this. It's got like a perfectly round. See that very edge of that? Almost looks completely round right there. I hope you guys can even see that. Going just like this. Right smack dab in the middle of the screen. It looks like it has something like a little round piece standing up, and the whole of it's right there. But see this piece right here comes up, goes down, has this feature here, but goes like this here. Has a nice straight line right there. You guys see that? That's pretty interesting. Thank you, Kyle, for your support. Always appreciated. You said our taxes pay NASA to lie to us. Yeah, unfortunately, you're right, and that's sad because, you know, yeah, they go, well, we're supplying you guys with the photos. What difference does it make? It's like, yeah, well, we'd like to see the real ones. That would be interesting. I think a little tiny piece standing up here. But thank you, Kyle. Appreciate you. Isabel, you said, are you able to remove that silly red overlay they use in the photos? I never got this. I'll never forget the first photo sent from Mars we saw on TV that had blue sky. It still does, yeah. A lot of these photos, you can put them into Photoshop and just hit auto color, and it automatically sees it as a blue sky. It does not see it as red. And a while back, I took just a photo I've taken, and I said, well, let's see how much. And I almost trying to remember what photo it was. I think it was with me and my buddy Billy Carson. And I said, okay, let's see the difference when I hit auto color. If it changed, it was so minute, wasn't even enough to see the difference. As soon as I put the Mars one in there, boom, it went from red to normal colored in the rocks to a blue sky too as well. So yeah. This thing almost looked like I had like an oval opening to it, but I don't think that's the case. Might be just a shadow in there. Look at this, nice pieces right here. Look at this. What do you guys suppose that is? Long pieces. Look at this one here. Looks like it's got an oval piece. Look at that. You can actually see the design of this thing. Oval right there. Has a very thin line right there. Like a little, it looks like a little design part right there. Right there in the center, that gray piece. And then we got this white longer piece. What's that supposed to be? You got this piece here. Look at that. Is that maybe a broken off part of a rock? Sure. I guess it could be. Oops. Alien Tenor, you said when you look at the Mars compared to, say, Sahara Desert, the sand texture, rock weathering just don't add up. Taking into account two of different atmospheres, but weathering is weathering. Yeah, and you're right about that. To me, and they say that Mars was a lot like Earth, so you should see a lot of weathering. Now, it has changed over the course of X amount of years, so it will be different, but come on. Like, look, amongst all of these lighter orange and yellowish pieces, but look at this, right underneath is this gray piece. Almost looks like it has a straight piece right there and an edge to it. See that? Or it's a blur, whichever comes first. Josh D, you said, Chris, have been doing Photoshop since CS2. What amazes me is the bad job that they do at hiding and blurring. I can do that better after a few months now. Wow, much better. Well, there you go. Lance Blanco, you said, when the pandemic is over, let's all get together for a few days somewhere and have a real hangout. I want Jimmy and Tyler there as well. Well, I don't know about, some of the people, like Tyler. Not sure. Renee Vaughn, you said Jean is more satellite images, but nice to hear his insight. Oh, yeah, absolutely. That's what I like, because I'm doing the ground kind of stuff like Jimmy is. And, you got Jean Ward doing the actual satellite view. So it gives you this two different views, if you will, literally, to see crazy stuff on there, right? So that's why I think his channel's an asset to, and a great addition to what we're doing, and vice versa, right? So you get the balance of everything. I'm just looking at the texture of these things. Look at this. Got these, and it's not so much the blur, but the fuzzy rocks. And that's how you know it's. Look at this. Come on. What is that? Sometimes just looking at these little things on here that, out of the blue, like I said, I've never even seen this picture. At least not this particular pan, right? I have seen this, and I'll show you why you guys remember this area. Right here, let me back up. Well, maybe it's not this one here. It might have been the other one we were looking at. Because I was going to say we have... this one here was part of it. We've seen it at much further angle, but now this is like totally different. But check this stuff out here. That's right here. This is pretty clear. Now look how clear this is. Looks pretty good. But look at the way this thing is right here. Right? This piece standing up. I don't think these are rocks. I think this is like, stuff that's been broken apart and it's been made to look like rock, or it's just encrusted, right? Let me bring my face down here a little bit more so we can see the screen a little bit better. Little pieces coming off of this. See that? Right here in the middle. And right there, there's something right there that has a nice little point to it, or an angle. Michael Stark, he said, so much detail missing from these Mars pics. Most of the objects laying around are intelligently made, and the terrain looks super weird in general. Oh, yeah. Absolutely. Alien antenna. If they're rocks, I am POTUS. Yeah, exactly. Well, that's the funny thing, too. H-Toss, you said 1AV. You said smooth wind erosion. Sure. The funny thing about it is the way they claim that there's so much wind and so much... You would think this stuff would be so smooth that... I mean, don't get me wrong. You will get this kind of channeling through the rocks, right, at some point. But you would think, like, rocks that are laying there would be literally smooth out, like being sandblasted, right? You'd think that'd be more the case. And that doesn't seem to be the case at all. Look at this right here, this thing in the back. It's almost symmetrical. See, that's got a ridge on this side and a ridge on this side. What do you guys suppose that is? Not sure what this piece is over here. To the left of it. Odd. Ms. Here, you said Mars has real extreme windstorms, dust storms, giant dust devils. You can't have these occurrences without a substantial atmosphere. That in the atmosphere, because, you know, and I totally agree, because it's kind of like a weather change here on Earth, right? In order to have real big-time gusts, you got to have warm air clashing with cold air. Now, we know we can have that on Mars because it says it can get up pretty warm in the summertime at the equatorial region, and of course, at night, you get the cold air. So you're going to have these. But they show them a lot of times if you look at the time stamp on these photos, because they do have them, it looks like daytime, like it's 2 o'clock in the afternoon, so on and so forth. So it's almost like here on Earth, you're seeing these windstorms. And, yeah, it's got to be like really big-time cold and warm fronts to be able to do this, to cause that kind of windstorms that they claim. And like I said, and most of the stuff would be buried by now. That's what I don't get. In other words, the things we're pulling out, why aren't those things completely buried? Why are we seeing them at all? Look at this piece right here. Orange, got a funky color to it. See that? You can see where they blurred it right here or took it out. Put the sand texture on there because you can see almost like a half circle right there. See if I can go a little bit more on here. Well, we can do that. Right there. Almost like a half-round circle right there underneath this red piece. Looks like we got some sand texture. Now, it may very well be actually naturally buried, but then you got the other half of it on this side. Yeah. Oh, look at this piece up here. I didn't even see that. This is pretty interesting. Look at that. Round. It looks like a round piece, and we're looking at an angle from this side coming in on the left side of it, and it looks like it has a cross member type piece inside. You guys see that? Coming straight down. You see the center, it goes to the right, and just a little bit to the left, you can just barely see some coming down to the bottom. What the hell is that? That's cool. That's actually pretty interesting. And you can see it's kind of like, almost like a gray or silverish kind of thing going on there, right? Alien Deno. Hey, Chris, imagine one day you look at a pic and there's a Martian giving you the finger and a banner saying, your channel sucks. You keep exposing us. Knock it off. We don't want people here. Elaine, that's a good question. You said, I want to know why, if Mars has these massive windstorms, why has none of these rovers been completely buried? Well, they are always on the move, right? Well, there's only one on the move now, because I claimed that the Opportunity rover became basically inoperative because basically the wind has covered the solar panels. And now, keep in mind, the Curiosity rover is not. It is basically driven by radioactive power plant. But the other one had the massive windstorm, so therefore, boom, it completely buried the solar panels. And of course, it can't charge the batteries up, so therefore it can't do anything. But I don't think that's the case at all. I think this thing is actually still moving. They're just not telling the public, right? Oh, yeah, this is natural rock. Right here in the middle of the screen. Oh, yeah. Look at this white piece coming off the top of this. Okay. This is what I find interesting. Look how half of it is dark right there. It's got the brown. And only part of that thing is sticking up like this big shark tooth kind of thing. See that? Really? And like I said on the bottom, this is not rock. You know, people will say, oh, look at, oh, this guy just sees nothing but just crazy things. They're all rocks. Really? I've never seen a rock that looked like that before, but, you know, I haven't been all over the world either, but still, come on. Yeah, Kyle, you said, yeah, especially when we're paying them to show us the real ones. Yeah, exactly. It's all right, Elaine, as long as you came back. He said, damn server timed out and booted me off for a minute. That's fine, you're back. Jim Donahue, you said, I emailed NASA about structures on the moon, Mars, and alien life, and UFOs. They sent me the standard response with SETI and our search for life in the universe, and some BS. But never answered any question. Nope, they will not. They will not answer it. Deplorable vet. Earth will go home and take your primitive garbage with you. Yeah, pretty much. Oops. Yeah, what do you guys think of that? Like I said, these pieces right here. Almost looks like something sticking out right there. I mean, some things, whether these are been made to look like a rock, you still can't tell what they are regardless, right? That's why you gotta look for the little pieces in here. Oh, stuff that really stands out, you go, okay, maybe it's a 50-50 thing that it's a rock, right? And some of the stuff you just go, yeah, I just find it hard to believe it's an actual rock. I'm not saying none of it is. Clearly, a lot of it could be, right? But yeah, this background's trash. You can see that. Now, there may actually be a background to this photo, but they just went over that. I mean, this right here, look at this trash right here. Look at this. Come on. Look at the way this rock is supposed to go. It's like intertwining with another rock. That's how you can tell the stuff has been drawn over and painted over. Look at this little piece in the bottom here, though. It's like they almost left a piece out of there. Got a small little round piece in this corner right here. Sometimes, like I said, they'll use a rock mimicking software over something that's intelligently made. You'll just see a bitty piece of that sticking out. That's all it takes. That's all it takes. Well, welcome back, Susan. Yeah, sorry. Had to leave for a while. Wow, live look. Yeah. See, this is the reason why I set this up through the my other software, so we can get a quick look at some of these things. And like I said, I'm going over this the same time you guys. I haven't even looked this over. Look at this thing. It has like this kind of like knob type thing on the top of this. See that? I'm going to zoom way in for a little bit. It's going to get blurry, but looks like it's coming down right here. There's something right there, but looks like it comes down. But it's rounded right there. I'm going to back up a little bit so we can get it to clear up a little bit. Right there in the center of the page. Some of these things actually look like they're structural. See how this like it has this opening? Almost like a doorway or something. Let's say it was a doorway going into another part of this structure or whatever. It's almost like these were built into, and then we see this area now. It looks like it's been completely obliterated. And then you can look down here. Check these out. Nice 90-degree angle in here. Got these pieces like this. Got this piece right here. These gray pieces. Not sure what to make of those. You see the way that thing is shaped right here. I'll put it right in the middle of the screen. Right here. Even this piece right here, look at this. Looks like it has this kind of nice straight edge. Might be another one on the other side. Of course, we can't see the inside of that lip of that. It looks like something real faint. Looks like a round circle right there. You guys see that? And a darker area right in the center of it. Yeah, very, very faint, but it looks like there's something, a nice straight edge. Almost like they're building blocks, right? That's the building blocks of life they were looking for, not the actual microbial. Ah, we're on to them now. Ian Wentworth, thank you for your support. Always appreciate it. Lots of fake rock overlay everywhere, Chris. Absolutely agree with you. Yeah, I mean, you could just see this stuff in here, right? It's crazy. Thank you again. Appreciate you. Guys, if I don't see that, just let me know ahead of time that in other words, if I don't see that you actually donated any kind of money to it, because I'm looking at this monitor here, and I'm not even looking at the comments, right? So I'm trying to keep eyes on both. So forgive me for that. I promise you, I'm very appreciative of any support. You guys know that. But I'm like literally looking at this big monitor here, and it's going on over there. So it's kind of like I'm just trying to look back every now and then. So for different comments. Equalizer says, hi, hope all is well. I sent you some more stuff regarding nuclear rocket engines developed in 1972 by Los Alamos, to be carried into space shuttlecraft, to be used for interplanetary travel. Oh, I believe they're already well past that. I think we all know that, right? I think they surpassed that a long, long time ago, and they're getting to these planets within hours as opposed to months. Look at this blurred out thing just kind of like sticking right there. See that? Look at this. What is that? Got this piece right here, this nice edge. See that? And this piece right there. What is this right on the side here? Look at this. What's the chances of something doing that? That's weird too. Right here, right of center, you've got this line right here. Comes down like this. Almost looks like teeth, right? Or some kind of something that has little segments to something. And you can see where they try to take it completely out. But you can see right here, 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 here. What is that? I know, this happens in nature, right? This is what I'm talking about. It's just the littlest details, man. You just see, like, boom. Here's another thing I'm just looking at. Look at this piece right here. Just up and right there. And I'm going to just go put this in the center while we're looking at this other piece. Look at the real faint square, the line right there. See that right there? I don't know if you guys can see this. Try and go more with it. It's going to be real blurry at first, but I'm going to back off. But right here, there's a straight line coming down, goes across, and almost looks like it got, well, it has another one right going up there. Going straight down. There's one over here on the left, straight down, and goes across. And then has with this darker area. Let me back out a little bit, so I'll clear up a little bit. You guys tell me what you think. So what I'm saying, is this... Now, these things natural right here in the screen now itself, right here, right of center, these pieces almost look like teeth. Look at the line to it. Going across, almost looks like teeth or some kind of small segments. What's the chances of a rock doing that? And you can see right here where they blurred that. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, probably 4 of these little brighter colored squares right across this thing. Come on. Noodle says, drop kick the like button. Just don't kill your mouse. But yeah, hit that like button, guys. Viper for Gaming, I appreciate that. You said the channel is very interesting. Yeah, I mean... We just look at, that's basically what we do. We just look for stuff that stands out that could be intelligently made or something anomalous, which stands out, which means it stands out from its environment, right? Little pieces like this here. Not sure what to make of that. Could be a rock, and it's just the way it's broken. Look at this. Just notice this piece. What's the chances of this doing this? Look at round circle. Round circle. Almost looks oval, but it looks like it has a square between the two of them. You guys see that? right there. Let's say it's kind of oval, and something square right there. Not to mention this big block or whatever this is behind it. Something right here. Looks like this is shadowing something underneath here. Looks like a lighter tan square or something like that. See that? This is interesting. Look at this square. It looks like something's plugged into it. See that? This square right here, and it's going right in the center. Whatever this thing is here. I'm going to back out in a second. Looks like something's going directly in the center of this square. Yeah, it's all natural, guys. It's your pareidolia. Don't worry about it. See that? Elaine Walls, he said, Chris, this is a great idea, and the image is loaded with ruins. Yeah, absolutely. That's what I'm saying. This is, you could just see how they've gone over this stuff, you know? It's like this right here. Kind of like this smooth piece coming down. See that? Something white right up here. Not sure what to make of that. Might be just a little stone or something. That could very well be. Not sure what to make of this. Look at this. Almost looks like a pipe with a small opening right here. What is that? Look at this piece. See how they went over this and blurred the hell out of this? But look at these pieces sticking out of this. 1, 2, 3. Those are rocks? You know, you get these people that come on the channel, and I'm not saying you guys, of course, you guys have already subs. I'm talking about like these transients. They come here and they just talk shit, and you just want to say, please kiss my ass, because there's no way. Look at, again, lower right over here. What does that in nature? And this clearly was covered up. Look at this. There's a small opening, almost looks like a pipe, and it's got like this T-section where this piece is broken off, but whatever it may be, right? And you can see the edge of this right here going like this. Coming around. See that? Yeah, I don't think that's natural, guys. Yeah, Alien Teddy said, try and find all of this stuff in the Rockies. Yeah, good luck with that, yeah. Something right in here they completely taken out. See, something's whiter right there, but then it's all complete blur. But again, oh, I just noticed this. Look at this. 90-degree angle right there. Almost hard to see. You almost can't make it out, but it's right there. Almost like a frame of something right in the side of this so-called rock. Butte, mountain, call it what you will. See that? What that is, too. Look at the way this thing's edged on the side here. Not sure what to make of that. Yeah, this is crap. Like I said, this one's interesting. And the designs on these rocks. Or it's just a manipulation, which could very well be. I mean, more crap. Look at this. Seriously? That's natural? And then you get this blur going on, which doesn't help anything. Then you get up here, oh, it just happens to be a little clearer. Look at this piece sticking out. Right there. And it's coming straight out towards the camera. You guys see that? Literally coming out. And you can see the sun is actually coming down beyond this. And you can see this gray is actually brightened up like the sun's hitting it. So this part here must be sticking right out, straight out towards the camera. And you can see that behind it is lit up from the sun. Yeah. Look at this up here. Look at this right here. Nice edge to that. Something white sticking right out of there. And then that's all you see. Completely blocked. Something white hanging down right here. I love how this looks like solid ground, and then you look right here, there's like holes all over this. See this? I think they just put this junk all over just to hide whatever's sitting on the top of this, and that's what we're seeing. Here's another object right here. Look at that. Look how they put this blur right there. See that? And then this is actually clear, and you can see just a tint of white at the very end of this piece right here. On the left-hand side, it comes up, goes to the left, and look at the white sticking out of this thing. This thing is an actual object, and they completely blurred it out. Look at that. Bam. But you can see it's tan, or this brownish crap, and you look just to the left of it, you got actually white. And it looks like a round circle, and it's dark at the round circle. Yeah. And this here. A little bit of white in there. See these pieces? There's something else. You can see it's like a lighter color. And you can see it going right behind this manipulation. You can see just a little bit tinge of it right there behind it. Yeah. Well, it's hard to do that, Kyle. You said you should try to filter out that rock formation. Well, because I'm not in the software, which I can actually do some other time. Put it into Photoshop and do that, right? Oh, you're talking like a... Let me see here. I know what you're talking about, object crash. It says seats and rows. It's kind of like a coliseum or whatever. Soren Saxon. So this is kind of a building or a monument. Honestly, we don't know. We're just looking at this thing, and it kind of looks like some parts of it's structural, like it's been built into the side of this hill, or it's not a hill at all, and it's a structure to begin with, and they're doing everything they can to, you know, make it look like it's some kind of hill or mountaintop. Yes. Get a flying bean. No, I'm kidding. It's just an artifact of the camera. That's all that is. Almost looks like there's something sticking up right there. That's some kind of crack in this thing. One of the two. But look at this right here. The surface right here. And then you got this squared out opening. Like this is either a manipulation or it's a cover. Whatever this thing is, right? Yeah. Well, I can actually give you guys the links to this. Because, Elaine, you said... Please, Chris, please use this image in an upcoming video. We can do that. Or I can give you guys the actual pan. You guys can check it out yourself. One of the two, right? Let's see what else we can find. I like that little Y-shaped piece right there, sprawling out from right to left. Of course, it is blurry. You can see that. Back out a little bit. I mean, you can just see this by looking at the texture. This is such garbage. Look at that. Like they just completely put this trash over this, what's really here. That's why I said that just the littlest things, boom. What is this thing? Almost looks like a horseshoe type shape. See that? Looks like maybe another right here, something right there. Pretty interesting. Isn't something interesting? Look at this. Like a square plate or something. See that? Comes down. Just look underneath the manipulation. Looks like it's right there. You can see the edge. Go like this and boom. Straight up on the right hand side. This right here, you can see this is actually a stitch. Right here in the middle, you can see that line. But you can see this coming down. Goes like this on the edge and goes straight up. Like a panel of some sort, right? Yeah, Frank, you said that right. You said lots of smearing and duplicate. I think it's duplication you're trying to put. MC Gaming said, I think us Earthlings were far more advanced than the Martians, but then again, there might be us Mars when the shit hits the fan. Yeah, it could very well be, right? Yeah, Ian, I agree. He said this image is insane, so much artificial stuff. Well, and that's the thing. Like I said, most of this, like if you look at this right here, clearly you can't see anything of any value, but that doesn't mean it has been manipulated. It's just they did a great job of hiding whatever it is, and that's the problem. Little pieces off over here. Looks like something round right there. I don't know what that is. Right there in the center. Little piece here, a 90-degree angle. Let's pan out a little bit. I appreciate you there, Kyle. Thank you very much. He said, you are amazing. Well, here's the thing. I mean, everybody gets to see these things too, and they get to weigh in on them, which is awesome. Again, Kyle, big thanks to you. Appreciate your support. Kenny Pinkerton, you said, we screwed up on Mars and came here. That may not be far from the truth at all. It may be absolutely true. Pure speculation because we can't prove that, right? But it's just wild that it could very well have happened. Look at this. Just some things you just go, maybe borderline, 50-50 on it. And then some things you just go, whoa, wait a minute, you know? Look at this here. These things here almost repeat themselves. See this? Almost like a line. See this right here? As you can see what they blurred right here. Look at this piece underneath it. It's square of some sort right there. Directly underneath it. I'm going to put it directly in the middle of the frame. This lighter square, and it's part of something right here. It's like an overhead cam setup. But you can see like right there, that nice... Right there, you can see the edge of it going right underneath this blur. See these little tiny details too, right there? Off to the left of it a little bit. Yeah. Almost looks like some kind of machine part. That's what it looks like to me. Look at this, in the middle of this, all this chaos right here. Look at this straight piece. Completely gray, looks nice and smooth underneath. That's what I mean by a piece like half in the blur, half out of it. See this right here? Goes like this here. And you can see it's still going in behind this blur. You see the line of it right here. Almost looks like it's in segments. See right here, right here. Georgia Hartley said, I see writing too. Yeah, some of these things, it almost appears like you can see what looks like writing and stuff. This little white piece sticking out right here. Pretty cool. Like, look at these little intricate details sitting on this so-called flat rock. See this? Well, you got a round circle here at the bottom. Well, pretty close to a round circle. And then you got these other little features. Looks like this piece right here. Round circle in it. Looks like something going like this here. I mean, is that natural? There's a completely blur. This isn't too bad right here. Then all of a sudden, poof, crap. That's a nice square right there. Right there. Not sure what this piece is right here. It's got like two small, like knob type things on it. This thick piece right here to the right of it. This part of this rock right here, whatever this is, almost looks like it had some kind of drawing on it. See this? Right there. This gray piece has these, looks like lines, these purplish lines on it. Almost like I had a design on there or something. But you can see, again, this piece right here coming, has a straight line right here on the left, goes across, has one, two almost like round knob type things on it. And like I said, we got this red piece right here. You can see like little details in it. You guys see that? Right there. Pretty thick. Does this. Well, that's very small, but you can see like this little opening. Something sticking straight out of that. It's like a little piece sticking out of the top of this thing. Let's pan it a little bit. Again, see this piece right here? And this almost looks like some kind of design to this. See this nice half round circle or some kind of design to that cutout? Almost looks like something round with a black circle in there, inside there. Piece sticking out of it. And right between this brown, you get this white piece. You can see it right there. Straight edge. Right there. I'm going to put it smack dab in the middle. Straight edge on the left. Straight edge on the right, and this white right here. There's something right there that's being hidden underneath this mess. Now, either this ground has like a thin layering, and you're seeing underneath this, or this is manipulation. This computer software is actually overlaying this, and it's meant to take out, it's got an algorithm to take out anything that's natural, and then it can decipher what is and what isn't. Maybe that's the reason why we're seeing some of the parts in here, because it's not taking it completely out, right? All right, Kyle, if you're taking off, good seeing you in there. Appreciate your support as always, and you have yourself a good one there, right? And a good weekend. Georgia Hartley says, I've seen shale with layers kind of like this stone, but I've never seen shale look so even like stacks of paper and then all the odd blurs and things covering over. Definitely a good catch. Yeah, I mean, just some of this stuff you can say, well, yeah, okay, I agree. You know, it could be just rock. like I said, they're not going to go out of their way to just look at simple rocks and hills just for no darn reason. They got bigger fish to fry, right? Here's that area we looked at earlier. It has these pieces. More of this stuff here. And zoom way out. What is this here? Kind of weird right there. Not sure what to make of this. Huh, look at this thing, the way this thing's designed right here. This is kind of bizarre. And has pieces on top of it. Almost looks square. See this right here? What is that? A nice little edge. And the way it's designed, it looks designed to me. How many of you guys think that's natural, and how many think that may be designed? I mean, I don't know. Let's go to the top of this bad boy, see what's up here. Almost looks like a piece of angle of something sticking out. See that right here? Exactly, Georgia Hartley said, hollow underneath looks artificial. Yeah, it almost looks like it has a skin over it. Or, again, it's the manipulation and it's just not covering it quite well. It's the only thing I can think of, right? Oh, yeah, this is real. You know what this is? It's a Martian hornet nest. Again, look at this. How sad is that? What? Now, I understand that because it's in the shade, it could have been something that... sometimes it'll have that pattern depending on how the photo is processed. But, come on. Look at that. Why isn't it doing it in this shadow area? You know what I mean? And I like the way this thing runs up like this. Look at the way this thing goes up. How wide it is. And it goes up like this. See that? Oh, predator. Looks like the teeth and the mouth of them. No, I'm kidding. Pareidolia. There it is. Something looks like something tubular or something right there. Something sticking right at the end of it. Somebody left a stick of dynamite up there. Not sure what to make of that. Just stick it right up. This almost looks hollowed out right here. And pointed at the end here. See that? Look at all the little pieces all over this. What the hell? Right here on this right-hand side. What is all that? And they're on a furrow gun. Not sure if I'm pronouncing that correctly. He said, remember when I asked if I could purchase items from your shop here in Brazil? Well, I did it. Can't wait to receive it. I'm going to use my shirt proudly. Well, I appreciate your support, man, and I'm glad you got yourself something you can put on and wear. That's awesome. I wear mine every time, like when I'm not working or anything. I just go out and people like looking at the shirt like, wow, that's pretty cool. You know, they're just like, because nobody else has got one like it, right? So, and when it gets warmer, I'll just be wearing the V-neck shirt. It's like, yeah. Now, see the way this is right here? Look at the way this... It almost looks like there's a layer and there's something underneath it. See that? Yeah, I don't think for a minute this stuff is actual rock. Look at this poor excuse for a paint job. Look at that. What? I agree with you, Frank. He said no reason for this not to be crystal clear. And again, even if it was kind of a low-res photo, you shouldn't see details like this. Come on. You know, it's almost like cement, you know, that they put on the side of this, right? Not sure what this is right here. Nice edge right there. Almost looks like a rounded piece. Almost like a round circle right here at the top of it. Almost round and has something going off to the back. Got a hold of my chin. Spilling the water on me. Here's another thing. Look at this. In this blur and all this garbage right here. Check this out. See a little bit of white there. A little bit of white right there. Yeah, look through the blur. That's where they're hiding this stuff. You'll get like little pieces of white like this here. But there's something else there. William Johnston, you said, is too selective, the blurs. Yeah, I mean, it's not like, you know, somebody went up there and put a fingerprint on the lens and said, oh, well, you know, well, that would be understandable. If we did it here on Earth, on your own camera, whether it be on your phone or whatever, that makes sense. But this is a machine remotely on Mars. Here's a perfect example. Look at this. Almost like this cutout. And look at the pieces inside here. Even though it's blurry, but you can see that. Cutout. It's almost like when we looked at this last time, we looked at one that had looked like it had that plane or whatever on there on the top of some kind of craft or something. It's like you could see inside like it had framework, right? Look at this here. This is funky. It almost looks like there's a solid wall, some kind of triangular piece, like a ramp kind of thing right here. And look at this. It goes right over the top. But look what's underneath it. Look at these funky pieces sticking out of this. See how we get this double-layered rock underneath? See that? And it's perfect. You got the top. Look at the shape of it. The bottom echoes the same thing. Nature's going to do that perfectly like that. Look at this right here. And just going up from it. Nice round curved piece. You got this piece sticking out here. Yeah, yeah. That's natural. This right here. You got this cutout. You got one. This brightest piece. 2, 3, 4. Oh, yeah. Bolt heyday. Yeah, you're right about that. It looks like watercolor, Chris. Yeah. That's exactly what it looks like. Like they're just coloring over the stuff just to hide it, right? Georgia, you said looks like sheets of sheet metal left to rust and collapse. Well, it could very well be. I feel like you get these weird looking pieces and they get like, I don't know if this is something that here was broken apart and you can see inside this right here, but it's hard to tell. Look at this. Oh yeah. This is natural. Put that right in the middle of the screen. Right there. Got these 3 pieces in there, and the bottom underneath them has this rounded piece at the edge there. Right there. And look at the little pieces in the background from it, right here. Just a little in the back of it and to the right. I mean, very, very tiny pieces right there. Something right there. Look at the shape of this. What is that? Almost like a perfect hole right here in the middle of this rock. Of course, we probably can't see it because you've got to look over this other rock right here. But look at that. That's almost a perfect hole sitting right there. And this randomness, and this is what we're seeing. Pieces right here. Look, this is lines. This piece going down like this. Almost has a point. You can see the just faintly inside here. Look at this. Again, that round circle. Look at these pieces up here. Kind of blended in. Right here at the top almost on the right. I'll bring it down. What is this? Right in the middle of the screen. There's a lot to see in these photos, guys. It's incredible what you can find if you just... And we just kind of just went over it quick, right? We just kind of just went through it. But let's see what's on the bottom here. Timber. I'm sorry, I see rocks all the time, and I don't see a rock that looks like that. It looks like it's covered with moss is what it looks like. That doesn't even make sense. Look at this here. Sticking straight out of the ground. What do you guys suppose that is? Again, look at this piece here. Underneath the blur, you can almost see a straight line going across this. Underneath that. Oh, yeah. Look at this layering here. 1, 2. Oh, look at this thing. Sticking straight out. Almost looks like a camera on a stand. See that right there, guys? Look, you can actually see the white piece right there. This thing's standing up. It looks like it's like some kind of weird instrument or something standing right out. It looks like it has this almost like a pipe type thing. Standing straight out, almost directing towards the camera, but only to the left of the camera. What is that? What do you guys suppose that is? Look to the north of this. Just on the top of it. Look at that. What the hell? Look at the design or the shape of these pieces. One, you just see it like a space in between there. And then you got something else, and it almost looks like a little square design on the one on the left. Let me just back out a little bit. See that? Look at that. I'm not sure what to make of that either. See this pinkish kind of, well, it's like yellow, pink. It's got different colors. Goes up like this. Goes across. And it's got the other little gray piece on top, like a little rectangular piece. What? Got like white edge or something right here. You're right about that, Kyle. Yeah, he said that's funny because the blurry is closer to the camera. Yeah, imagine that, huh? Abs0303 said, morning, evening, all. What's going on, man? Good to see you in there. We're just going over one of these pans. We're just about done with it, but glad you jumped in there. Not sure what to make of that. What is that there? Something small, but I'm not sure what to make of that. Something right here. It's kind of blurry, but there it is. So I guess they don't want you to see it with any really good detail because clearly it'll give it away, right? N62 BMW. I said, wow, Chris, good work. Well, I appreciate it. I'm glad to see you in there. I do, John. I will definitely give you guys this here. Let me go ahead and just minimize this. I'll give you guys the link right now. You guys can check it out for yourselves. Crazy, crazy stuff in here. I don't know if I can say something. Let's say. I don't know if this is going to work or not, but. Whoops. Okay. Well, it may not allow me to do that, but what I will do is I'll drop the link in here in the top. Because I'm looking at this, I'm saying, what the heck? It's not allowing me to drop it in there, but we'll get that ironed out for next time. But I'll definitely drop the link for this when we sign off, which will be pretty soon. Gotta get some sleep there, get ready to rock and roll tomorrow. Rock, rock, rock and roll. Look at this. This is pretty neat. Almost looks like something rounded right there, smooth at the top. See that right there? Doing this here. Pretty interesting. Gonna see that. Got this nice whiter edge right there to the left of this right here. Coming down. Goes across. Like I said, it's one thing to see rocks and jumble around. You know, you're okay with seeing that. But when you see these weird pieces, and then, you know, pieces like this going straight across, and they're white, and then, of course, the rest of it's completely trashed, meaning they've totally taken this thing out with manipulation, obfuscation, whatever it may be. Yeah. Let's see what else we got over here. That's weird, kind of this piece here. Got a little bit of white in there too. Like this is, you can see this has got a shadow underneath it, but you can see right here, right there and here. You see it going down like this here. That's kind of weird looking, isn't it? Yeah, look at this now. Then, you know, the person just going by says, this is nothing more than rocks. Well, you know, I take a closer look at this and I look at these designs in here. It looks like 1, 2, 3 like squares or almost rectangular pieces with something brown or something like that. This has these openings with something in the middle of them. Look at this piece right here. Almost like, you know, if you look like a belt buckle kind of thing right there. Look at that. Embedded in this rock, right? Again, these pieces right here in the center. And look at the way this is interesting. I just noticed this too. Look at the way the end of this thing, look at the design. Guys, look at this. Comes down, but look how wide this white piece is that they blurred out. All you're seeing is the very tip of it, but check this out. It's wide and it comes up like this here, and you can see the other piece is almost clear right there. They screwed up. There's one here and one here. You can almost bet they're almost, or they are identical. And you can see whatever it is, the other white part of it's doing this. And look how wide that is. This is no rock. I guarantee it's not a rock. Again, especially with these little details and stuff like that in there. Like I said, you can actually see this thing pretty darn clear. Right there in the very white part on the bottom of this. But you can see it's in the blur. It's pretty wide. And it goes, whoop, it slopes right up on this thing. Like intelligently made objects. That's what you'd expect to see. Oh, okay, Kyle. Appreciate that. Whoop. Again, thank you for your support. He said I was saying bye to the guy that was leaving. Okay, because that's why I tried to look at it real quick, and so that was my bad on that. I'm thinking, you know, I'm trying to do this and look at that at the same time, so I probably just misunderstood there. But, okay, sweet. Look at this thing here. Almost like some kind of design piece right there, the way that thing's doing this. Looks like it has a space in between. Stephen Wagner, you said, hey, Chris, there has been some speculation that there are areas that have fauna and large areas of water. Your thoughts? Thanks for your insights. I'm learning more and more. Yeah, there's no doubt in my mind that they're going to come out with that. I think it absolutely has some kind of, like something we have on Earth, like a moss or something to that effect, because they claim, and if you've been following NASA or even like space.com or anything, they'll say like they get spikes of oxygen as well as methane or methane. They get those, both of those are spiking. Okay. The only thing I know that does that is either ocean or plant life. That'll actually, a lot of methane in the air. And it's enough to actually, for the rover to actually sniff it. And when they had the MRO go into the lower atmosphere of Mars, they also had the same thing. They could actually sense it. The sensors picked it up. So, and then they had a spike in oxygen. Okay, what does plant life do? It gives off oxygen, right? So, something's there. Something's alive. Something's probably eating off of this stuff. Who knows, right? And as far as like they have next to the South Pole, I found an underwater lake that's supposed to be like a mile wide, but it was only actually so deep. But there was an actual area full of water, and it has a water cycle right there in Gale Crater where the rover is currently, right? So there is definitely water on Mars. It's an abundance. Not sure what to make of this. What is that? Yeah, I've never seen a rock do that. Maybe I'm wrong. Almost looks like you can see like a hole right here and something sticking straight out of it. It's blurry as heck, but see that? Let me just back out just a little bit. Right there. But yeah, come on. What was that other area I was just looking at? Look at this piece right here. You see like it's right there, and they completely took this right out. See that? This right here, see what I mean? It's like the ground is opened up or something, and you can see there's always something down in the bottom of this, but it always looks like the ground has been opened up somehow. Or again, it's probably the software that's doing this, and it's just not correct the way it's doing it. It's not perfected, so to speak, right? But it's just enough to cover the basics or the majority of things they don't want you to see. Like this coming out of the side of this so-called rock. Look at this. And you can see it right here going like this. You can see how thick it is because of the lighter, brighter area. See that? Not sure what that is. William Johnston, you said, I think this takes the viewer's choice episode to another level, Chris. Yeah, I mean, I've been wanting to do this anyway, and I said, well, why don't we go ahead and try it today? And like I said before I even got on, I know you guys are familiar with this piece because we had done this on one of my videos. I mean, what? Wasn't as clear as this, but still, you can see it right there. Look at this. There's something right there. On the edge of it, looks round. But they blurred that out and took that completely out. Look at this piece leaning against this rock. Well, some kind of funky rock, but check the way that thing is. Look at this. Yeah. Half of this rock, or whatever this is blurred out. You can see a design of this thing. See it going like this? Line, coming down, and coming back down. See that? Yeah. Again, it's the smallest details that you look at. I'm so... like, just jump right over rocks now. I just go, whatever. And if I don't see anything of any value, I just jump right over it. Not sure what to make of that. What I always found amazing, let's say, like, it's like in, let's say you went to a riverbed here and it's completely dried up. What would you find in there? Like if there was rocks in there for long periods of time, what would you find? Smooth out rocks, right? You would expect to see, like, a rocky area that's jagged and stuff like that. You'd expect to see a lot of jagged rocks. But for some reason, you see, like, every single different kind of rock you can possibly think of in one area. I'm not saying it's unheard of. I'm just saying, but that is kind of odd the way they do that. So, yeah. I find that real interesting. Yeah, Renee, it's a coffee table. Yeah. Who the hell knows, right? Some kind of something or other. Now, this thing. What's some of the details on this thing? Looks like roots to some kind of growth right there. Like this piece right here, look at the white piece running through it. That's the actual object. Look at this. This piece right, this pot next to it. Look at the design of this. White goes up like this, straight down. The other pot next to it is going up and then goes back off the different direction. It's symmetric, but going in different directions. See that? Comes down. This goes up and goes back out the other way. Kind of designed exactly the same way this one is. Oh, pretty darn close to it. I mean, you can just tell this stuff's painted over. Look at this crap. Really? Something's in there. It's like... whatever it is, it looks like a friggin' hole in there, but it's hard to tell. People go, you know, you get some of these people that go by these trolls and they'll say, oh, yeah, I mean, you know, there's no way, man. You don't know what a rock looks like? Yeah, I actually do know what a rock looks like. And I'm telling you right now, I can see designs in this thing. See this? Nice straight line right there. Going across. Almost looks like something circular. Pieces right here, little designs. Another straight line right there, very faint. Looks like it's been designed. Something's designed right there. Look at this piece. It looks like they took out the rest of this. You can see it right here. There's a line going just like this and around. This is bigger than what it looks like right here. This thing goes all over here. You can see that. Something they took out right here, too. Some pieces right there. I'm not sure what to make of that. Actually, you can see this thing pretty darn good. You guys see that? Look at this gold piece and look underneath the blur. Check this out. Look at the shape of this. Look at that. That is crazy. Yeah. Pieces right here. Are we sure this is all natural, right? That looks like machine, high technology stuff right here. I'm going to put it right there in the middle of the screen. Tell me that looks natural. What? That's crazy right there. Vincent Miller, appreciate your support, man. Thank you very much. Got the thumbs up bird going on. That's pretty sweet. Yeah. William, you said that right. Yes, very complicated nature on Mars. Yeah, it's pretty slick. I don't know if you're taking off the equalizer. You said, sir, thanks. At 2 a.m. here. Stay safe, everyone. Will you do the same there, equalizer? And good to have you in there, right? Raquel Gelstrom, you said there would be petrified wood there for sure. It is, after all, our sister planet, a term I have not heard for some time. Well, and that's what they claim. You know, and to me it makes sense. They said it was a lot like Earth back in the day, at least from what they're finding. So it doesn't surprise me. Like I said, we even speculated that there's a good chance that, you know, we were actually living on both planets at the same time. And, you know, Mars met its demise. Who knows? Abs0303 said, considering the winds on Mars, a lot of these pieces have no sand. Dust covering. Interesting. Absolutely. Which of course it gets real bright over here, right? If you could dock in most of these places here, you'd find a lot of stuff right here. Like, let's say right in this area. Because it's closer to the camera, you notice how it's the most, like, completely, like, in light. Like, they totally took the exposure and brought it way up in that particular area. See that? Bring it down, I guarantee you'd see something else in there. Wouldn't be just simple rock, as they want you to believe. See, it's funny how it's like it's this gold shit color, and all of a sudden you see white, white, white. See that? A little bit of yellow pieces up here. This piece right here on the left. Oh, no problem, Vincent. I appreciate your support anyway, as usual. You said can't buy a shirt with this old computer, so this will have to do. Listen, I'm okay with either way you do it, man. I appreciate you. You know that. Again, thank you very much for your support. Georgia, you said water and mud. Well, that's a good possibility too, but I see a lot of this, like right here. Perfect example, right? See how this is like this color here, right here between these gold-colored rocks. And then you look right here, so you can see the same textures put on this yellow rock. And you can see whatever it is. You can see, look, here's a perfect example. This brighter piece goes right behind this gray texture that they've dropped over this. Why is that and how is that so? Because clearly you can see they're putting stuff, they're masking some of this stuff and a lot of it. And they're putting this mask or blurring right over the whole darn thing, whatever they want to take out, right? That's pretty interesting. This mess in here. I appreciate that, Miss Hurd. Here. I said, got to do my donations to you via PayPal. Another one soon. I appreciate you. You know that. And thank you for the last ones there. You know that. Bad coloring in. Yeah, you got that right there. Raquel Gelstrom. What this thing just jumped on me here. Bad coloring in. Oh, yeah. I mean, the whole thing is just like, you can see where they've done it. I mean, it's so blatant. But they go like this. Hey, we'd rather see them see this blatant messing with than actually see the real deal, right? So even if you go, oh, you mess with the photos. Whatever. You know, it's like, as long as you're not seeing what they're covering, they're perfectly okay with it. There's something here that has a white piece here. Whatever this thing is right here has another white piece right there on the bottom of it. But you can see something's been completely blurred out here. A little bit of white on this right here. Oh, yeah. Look at this. There are little features inside this opening of this ground, right? Now, this is interesting. Check this out. Look at this. You can see the line. You got this piece going up and over, right? Look underneath. There's a line. Well, this is white. You can see it's white or silverish. But you can see the straight line on the very left-hand side of it. It's very, very faint, but it's there. Look at this. And then look at the features in it. Almost like a square right there. You get this piece right here. Like it's white right there, and you look at this. This is awesome looking. Yeah, that's Mother Nature doing that. Right. Sure it is. Gotta love it, guys. Gotta love it. Stuart Clark, he said, blatant obfuscation. Photos on ground level don't match up with the orbiter photos. It's exactly right. If you look at them, totally different. We've done this. My buddy used to call himself Space Cadet on his channel, and he did a lot of the, he's the one that introduced me to a lot of the, like raw colors and plating in the Photoshop. And so you can see the actual raw parts of these photos, literally the different color plates. And he's the one that introduced me. Well, he actually broke that down where he looked at the orbiter photos and he looked at the ground. Did not match up. Now, some of it does. Don't get me wrong. Good. I would say maybe half to 3/4 does. The rest, no. Nope. Piece overhanging, sticking right over this rock. Supposed rock. Look at this mess down here. What is that thing right there at the bottom? That's right here. You got this line right here going like this, coming down, going across, and look at the little features just underneath that. That's weird how this does this, right? Look at this. There's something right there in the middle of the... Just below these little details here. Look at that. Something white with a little darker spot. Almost looks like it's rounded here at the end of this. Something's right there has been completely blurred out. Oh, look at this. Her shifter. See the pattern? Got the shift sticking up? Oh, I'm just kidding, guys, but that's what the first thing I thought of when I seen this. Look at this in the background here. Behind it. Right there. Blurred out, of course, but look at the design of this thing. Or the way this thing is made. Renee, you said Chris, Joe, or Joseph or Joe White is my guitarist UFO friend too. Oh, sweet. Yeah, he's a good guy. I haven't talked to him in a while, but every now and then I pop in and watch his videos and stuff like that. He does some really good stuff, you know. I'll pop in there every now and then and see what's going on. Well, that's about it for that, guys. Oh, yeah, look at this. No, that's real. Now, that pot might actually be real. I don't know. Doubtful. Look at this thing. What the hell is that? Is like something just sticking out of this thing, or just because it's elongated, is going to the back there, right? Oh, yeah, look at that. Gotta love the different colors right there in the middle of this rock, or whatever this thing's supposed to be. Now, this has been... See, they messed with it. It's like digitization. I'll get it out, I promise. The way they did this edge right here. See that? Again, it looks like we got this hole in the back. Look at the way this thing is. It's like, kind of goes up, goes to a point, comes back down. Like this weird hole in this. And it goes down, and you can see where it goes into the ground. What do we suppose that is? Look at that. Looks like carvings or something in this. Pretty interesting. Look at these two things that laying right underneath the 1, 2 piece standing up. See that? Looks like it's got a line right there, like it's sectioned. And there's another piece right there. See that? All right, guys, that's going to do it for this one. No doubt about it. But I'm going to jump on off here. I'm glad that we had everybody here today. It's been over 3 hours, which is awesome. Good to spend the time with you guys as usual. It's always a pleasure to be here, guys. I wish I could be on here longer, but got to hit the crib. So thanks for everybody joining me tonight. It's been awesome. You guys are great. Thanks for all the support. Again, I couldn't ask for better people joining in, like we were just doing this here. And it's just been great. Everybody putting their 2 cents in and asking questions. You guys are awesome, as usual. So we'll see what happens on there. You guys can leave your comments down below after this video has been put on YouTube itself. And you can put on there what you want to see besides just this or something else. So you guys can let me know. So I'm going to let everybody go. Thank you, everybody. Stay safe. If your officials are saying stay in the house and just, wait it out, then just do what they say. The faster this stuff will drop. And we can finally get back to some normalcy, right? So everybody be safe. Have yourself a good weekend. And I will see you in the next video. I'm not sure when I'm going to get that one out. I'm going to try like heck to get it out maybe over the weekend or at least Monday. We're going to see what happens depending on how busy I get, right? So with that, I'm going to let everybody go. God bless. Love you guys. You guys are awesome. And I'll see you guys soon, all right? Peace.